Nothing happened. Nothing happened. And not at all. I totally solved this issue. Nothing went wrong. I did not fuck up in any way. Well, I have it set up now, so I can't fuck up anymore, so, you know. It's all good. It's all good. There we go. And we is back. Fucking YouTube stupid clip wants me to be a dickhead all about it. God damn it. I have to do the entire stupid intro again. Oh, god damn it. So, what we're going to be doing today is make a pngtuber. What is pngtuber? Pngtuber is like Live 2D tuber, except not less effort, just less of a bar to entry, which is good for me because I want to be able to make this stuff without, you know, having to always be reliant on stuff like Vroid. Later on down the line, if I get a design that I find cute or find funny, I can eventually turn it into a 3D design, rig all of it out and stuff like that. But however, in the moment, I'm going to be using the Yordle designs to make something different, a little more cute, whatever, you know? I was already exploring some designs that were very, that are very rounded in their shape, but a little more void-centric, because I like void. I like the evil void-looking things. Now I don't have to at least be eating anymore on stream, so that's good. Before all this, which I'll put into its own little folder, before all this, I was exploring different designs when it came to either making something cute. NFT tuber, fuck off. I have a video on that. God damn it, I have to watch out with the audio. I have a video on that pretty soon that we'll be watching together. Well, I'll just continue watching, or maybe I should start from the beginning. I'll let you decide on it. It's basically a great video from Folding Ideas about that's what I actually had up on the screen. Might start it from the beginning, I don't know. And it's basically him talking about, he did a very analytical approach to what the hell are NFTs, where the hell does the crypto thing come from, what is the problem with it, which, you know, harkens back to it's very probably political, but I find this shit interesting, so it's probably my stream, I'm going to be listening to it whilst drawing later on. But first, explaining what I've been doing is, I thought about something cute, you know, something like a cute wolf looking thingamajig. Because adorable is something I like making. I like making. I mean, like, if it's something that's going to be used as like a proxy model, might as well have it be cute for one, and two, something kind of adorable. Because okay, this is my one issue, right? Now I have like a male VTuber model, but essentially it's a female VTuber model, right? Because they're all basically the same. Because anime has this. If you want to make something cute, you know, it tends to look a certain way. Except if you want it to look like a JoJo's character, which, you know, is also possible, but it's not my thing, you know. I'm not into the big power fantasy stuff. I like my things to be adorable. Therefore, I was exploring this direction, something more like a raccoon or a fox-looking thingamajig. That evolved into a few designs, like where that got more of a stable idea. And then I was like, I want to start from scratch because I want Yordles to be a part of it. Yordles being the race on Runeterra from League of Legends, the mainly the recent new redesigns of Vex. Vex is the most adorable one, I think. So something like as expressive as that, because it basically means that dies of cringe, lol. No, that basically I'm able to have something that's a little more stylized and doesn't have to resort to being like, you know, kind of awkward and stuff like that. Because I'd rather like it to be, you know, cute. I like these designs. I like the little fluffy ear things that they do with them. Because Yordles used to look horrifying, by the way, like original Yordles, right? Like League has this issue where if you go back, Yordles used to like look like holy crap. Where are they? Wait, where are they? Hold. Let me bring back the YouTube screen. Like if you want to look at old Yordles, don't look further than the fucking Poppy and what she used to look like. Like this is I think what they look like now in game, right? Which is, you know, her eyes are a little weird and buggy, and overall this is the style they're going for them, right? Which is like Heimerdinger in Arcane, something more fluffy, which, you know, works and is better than which is better than you know, not Lulu. Who was it? I think it's Poppy. Poppy. It was like a tank character. Like she used to look like this is what she used to look like. Like old League of Legends looked like dog shit. Like old League of Legends was really horrifying. I don't know what else to say. Okay, how can I scroll here without having it become like Poppy old splash arts? Look at this. Look at this. What is this? It's horrifying. And then that got changed into this. So, you know, keep the meme, but, you know, it's still sort of there. However, memes aside, what I have figured out somewhat in, somewhat by the newer Yordle designs, right, is that they all go for this fluff. They all have this little bit, oh, nope, that's turning. They all have this bit of fluff on them. And the fluff is again adorable, therefore good. But what does it do? Changes the shape somewhat, makes it more rounded. But essentially, what we're going with is an oval, big eyes, ears. So what's our shape language here? It's circles and triangles. Here, a little more anime face, but still oval shape. Big circle, nose, mouth, ear. Here, this is one of the male Yordles. Rumble, I think his name is, yeah. What the difference seems to be there is they have way more emphasis on the furry aspect. On the, because it still has essentially the same design, it's just a little bit more slick, a little bit more pointy, you know. Vex is the newest one, by the way, from these designs. Poppy, same thing. Circle, big stick, which is default for an elf, right? Now, what I'm trying to do is mix that older design I had, you know, the red one, the more raccoon-looking furry thing, with the proportions of a Yordle. Yet at the same time, I want to still be able to have something a little bit more unique. So I'm exploring something like this, where I imagine these eyes sort of glow. So instead of just, you know, being these glow, and maybe it has like a darker purple. So it's something more akin to Kha'Zix, which is another champ in the game, by the way, which is something a little more void-like, because void means spooky. I'll draw her eating a Subway. Lol. Yeah, no, they know what waifu sells, but there's nothing wrong with that, because, you know, at least the designs don't look how they used to. Again, I refer to you how they used to look. Do you want them to look? Do you want old Poppy again? Do you want that? No, you don't. You think you do, but you do not. Therefore, something like this, where the shape language is again, circle, red. Where the shape language is circle, that goes into big triangle ears, big eyes, nose and mouth. And so nose and mouth, I'm sort of trying to combine into either this bat sort of shape or like this demonic hellspawn creature. Just, you know, it needs eyes. I can't just make it, because this is something I was thinking about. Okay, like I can't just make it so like it has a, say it has like like big ears like that. Sort of has the fluffy ear thing going on, and then it's just like a whole bunch of fucking razor teeth. I can't just have it be like a face full of teeth. Oh, this is terrifying. Have teeth and like tiny eyes on the side or whatever. Like that's not a thing. I can't do that. Or I could, but like I'm not gonna. Because it's supposed to be a mascot for the channel, you know. I'm supposed to be able to replace this avatar I'm using right now with the avatar I'm going to be making today, which is probably going to be akin something more to that. However, I don't know if I want to have it like have a body or have it like have the fur around the neck, or if I just would want it to like float above the body, because that could be cool as well, you know. I don't know. So wait, what is the title? Big Tiddle. Yes, that's why I was looking at this, like some stylization art. This I don't know who the fuck this is, by the way, from, but it's adorable. It's really cute, but it gives like what seems to be the proportions for most of these characters, you know, which is where's my layer? Where's that layer above? What, my doodle layer? No, where'd it go? My doodle layer disappeared. Oh, there it is. My doodle layer, which is big circle, little body, tiny feet, tiny arms, essentially, right? Like here. Look at these. What, her elbows come like here, and then it goes up like that. An adorable little thing. But big eyes. Big eyes is the main name of the game. And that's why I'm now deciding between eyes that look like this, where it's just a circle, or if I were to make it a circle with the pupils on the inside. Looking at that. No, okay, they can have an inner thing. Essentially, over time, I can transfer these into actual VTuber models, you know. Way hip, mega stylish. I actually do not know that meme. I don't know every meme on the planet. Not the ultrameister of memes. Maybe the faceplate can come off. And it reveals like the eye is still there. Eye still there, surrounded by teeth. It would be an alt state. I don't know when to use it then, though. Like an inner mouth. That could be an idea. So welcome to Tori. Just decides to fuck about and find out, you know. Just trying out a whole bunch of little different designs. Testing, seeing if those eyes are interesting. And then building up a little design that is akin to a yordle. Except probably without the hair, because then if I'm gonna have it like be smooth like that, which basically means the yordle's bald. That could be interesting. Because I don't want to give it an ahoge for no reason. That's kind of stupid. Kind of dumb, you know? I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna draw out this the very much. What were those games again? Was it a game or was it a TV show which had like those creatures with the teeth? I remember it being a cartoon. I think it had like designs like that. They were like totally horrifying for a cartoon. Walking box ball sack. Okay, cats are adorable. Okay, even if they're like the weird, even if they are the weird ones. Foster Home for Imaginary Friends. Wasn't that one that had it? The ball. That wasn't one of the episodes. That was one of the first episodes, right? Something similar to this one, where it was like a big ball that had like tiny eyes on the side, and it was just like teeth all around. Oh, there's stabilization on this pen. That's why this pen's feeling so weird. There we go. And it had like a whole bunch of teeth on the side of it. That show was awesome. Well, again, most Cartoon Network shows were awesome. Compared to whatever garbage you could watch in this country, you know. Not a lot of local TV was that good. Hashtag fight me over that. How would that work then for this character? Would it be like so the eyes go up here. Have like a little skin thing here. Would be part of it. And I can do like a Tyranid thing where it's like kitten, you know, not kitten as in cat, but like kitten as in as a like armored look. But then I'm doing then that's too mechanical. I don't want it to be too mechanical. I want it to be like organic. It's be more akin to, for lack of a better word, Venom. You know, where Venom's all like gooey and shit. So it's all like monstrous and stuff like that. I'd want that to not be one. Otherwise, I'm just doing a yordle, and I don't want to do a yordle. I want to do something like a little more teethy, more toothy. Okay, let's get rid of that. I find if I add like a tooth on each side here, that's a little too much detail. It takes away from that cuteness. Keep it simple, right? That's probably is to keep it simple. Let's create a layer of shit. A layer of different stuff. I don't hate on Gumball, I'll be honest. Like, Gumball's fine. But like Catnet. That and later, like all the live action shows they fucking made, like all those live action shows they just pushed because I don't know, they would just really like live action shows for some reason for a while. Okay. So it's gonna be a circle. Circle. With some kind of slanted, like some kind of triangle view like that. So a slanted triangle. Again, the whole point with all I have to do, right, essentially, by the end of the stream, is to have a VTuber model with its mouth open and its mouth shut. And how I do that, that's all I have to basically make. It just has to have an open mouth state and a closed mouth state. And all the other things are optional. But once I get started and get into it, perhaps, yeah, I'll probably be making a little bit more. And a bit more elaborated than just an easy thing. Big eyes. A little bit of extra skull. And that is the ears, which are sort of like horn shapes. Because I'm not making it too difficult for myself in this case. Mouth open, pause, lol. Do that like that. See, this is already the mistake I'm making. The ears are too small. The ears have to be big. Big. Look at some of the reference here. What is the size of these ears? They're about the same width as the face is tall. So I'd probably have to make it bigger. Yeah. I'm already forgetting what I was going to put on the video. Hold on a moment. Give me a sec. First delete some of this, delete some of that. Used my favorite little tool, the lasso tool, to grab these eyes and push the face down a bit. Making it a bit more chibi-like, but also a bit more in that range I would want. Oh wait, is my model still up there? Let's go. Well, it's the idea, right? Just to break it down really easily. Like here this person did it as well. Like you can see the ball shape into the flowy lines of what makes the gesture. But essentially Yordles, you draw them a little bit like you do a Yoda, right? So what would Yoda look like with his ears up? It's essentially a bunny. Better to over-exaggerate and pull back than to not exaggerate enough. I have this awkward in between, I suppose. So let me be. Also, Clip Studio has a liquefy brush now, so I could like gently push things around, which I am happy about that they finally added that stupid feature. Because for Photoshop it was a pretty good feature, so you know, closes that gap just a tiny bit more. Now the more difficult thing is that intermediary stage, which is the ear is made out of this triangle shape, but also this little bit of triangle shape on the inside to mask that transition. It's the inner fur, basically. Tristana doesn't seem to have it here, but then she has her little bangs thing side here that kind of cover up that shape. See, how do they do it here? Yeah, they just have the hair at each point cover up that shape. This character would just look weird with hair. That's my problem. That's my issue. Like the moment I give it hair, it's like, what the fuck is that? Like emo look? Or do I give it like a mohawk, but then it just looks like Trumbull? What her hair is there? Like that, and I'm covering up the eyes again, which I don't want to do. So I'm just gonna be playing around with those ears a bit more to get that same shape in there. I have not drawn in a long time as well, not gonna lie. Like, it does feel like ages ago that I've actually sat down to draw something. I think the last thing I drew was, yeah, the first concept sketches for this idea. It's like been the last time of me drawing, which I didn't do for that long. Because me sitting down and actually doing a thing, ugh, imagine that. Except if it's editing or color grading or VFX or 3D or, yeah. Boo. Anyway, let's bring up the video I wanted to watch, right? Some League of Legends champions used to look like total dog shit, man. Jesus Christ. Anyway, Time to look at fun YouTube videos. Let's see how base this is. Put that there.
Tied up in all this, there's an extremely pervasive.
Oh no, wait. Let's go back to the beginning. Fuck it.
The unavoidable subject of 2021 has been NFTs.
Yippee. Is the sound alright?
To incomprehensibly tasteless tributes to deceased celebrities, to six-figure sales of the original copy of a meme, it is the thing that is currently dominating the collective brain space of digital artists and sucking up all the oxygen in the room. And I do want to talk about that. I want to talk about my opinions on NFTs and digital ownership and scarcity and all the myriad dimensions of the issue.
A little low? Okay.
I just want to talk about NFTs.
Bring it.
I can't just talk about NFTs.
Is better?
Because ultimately, they are just a symbol of so much more, and it is that more that is ultimately important. So let me tell you a story.
Okay. Ah! It's overpowering me. This good? Yeah. Hey, got him. Yeah, on fucking Broadway, apparently they're advertising this shit. I didn't even know that. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Holy shit.
In 2008, the economy functionally collapsed. The basic chain reaction was this. Banks came up with a thing called a mortgage-backed security, a financial instrument that could be traded.
Big brain time. Let's do this.
Based on a bundle of thousands of
I'm gonna shut
individual
up now.
mortgages. Based on the general reluctance of banks to issue mortgages, the risk aversion in lending someone hundreds of thousands of dollars that they'll pay off over the course of potentially decades, these bonds were seen as especially stable. However, they were also immensely profitable for the banks who both issue the mortgages and the bonds.
Ugh.
Because of that perceived stability, a lot of other financial organizations like pension funds and hedge funds use them as the backbone of their investment portfolio. In this arrangement, a mortgage becomes more profitable to the bank issuing the mortgage as a component of a bond than it is as a mortgage. Proportionally, the returns per mortgage from the bond are just that much better than the returns from the isolated mortgage. There's some problems though. Problem one is that the biggest returns on a bond come from when it first hits the market. A new bond that creates new securities sales is worth more than an old bond that is slowly appreciating but not seeing much trade. Problem two is that there are a finite number of people and houses in America. The market has to level out at a natural
Bored monkey.
ceiling, as eventually all or nearly all mortgages
The monkeys
are
look so ugly though.
thus very few new bonds can be generated.
It's so cringe.
So here's the incentives that are created. One, it's good for banks if there are more houses that they can issue mortgages for. Two, the more mortgages issued, the better, because a bad mortgage is worth more as a component of a bond than a good mortgage that's not part of a bond. So real estate developers find that they have a really easy.
This shit is complicated, man.
Banks for creating vast new suburbs full of houses.
But this is the housing crisis.
But rather than building the kind of housing that most people actually need and want, they focus specifically on the kinds of upper middle class houses that fit into the sweet spot from the perspective of the banks packaging the bonds. Buyers, in turn, find that they have a suspiciously easy time getting a mortgage, despite the fact that, for most people, the economy wasn't doing so great. Wages were stagnant, and yet even though developers were going absolutely haywire building new housing, the houses being built were all out of their price range to begin with, and counterintuitively, this massive increase in supply wasn't driving down the price. This is because the houses were being bought just mostly not by people intending to live in them. They were being bought by speculators who would then maybe rent them out or often just leave them vacant with the intent to sell a couple years later. Because
does this shit sound familiar? Is the foreshadowing obvious?
Speculators keep buying, which creates the illusion that the value is going up, which attracts more speculators who buy up more supply and further inflate the price. These speculators are enabled by a system that is prioritizing generating new mortgages purely for the sake of having more mortgages to package into bonds. The down payments are low and the mortgages all have a really attractive
Sounds like a monkey.
Meaning that for the first 3 to 7 years of the mortgage, the monthly payments are rock bottom, as low as a few $100s per month against a mortgage that would normally charge thousands. Caught up in all this are legitimate buyers who have been lured into signing for a mortgage that they can't afford by aggressive salespeople who have an incentive to generate mortgages that they can then sell to a bank, who can put it into a bond to sell to pension funds to make a line go up, because it's good when the line goes up. It's a bubble. The bubble burst as the teaser rates on the mortgages started to expire. The monthly costs jumped up, and since the demand was synthetic, there were no actual buyers for the speculators to sell the houses to. So the speculators start dumping stock, which finally drives prices down, but because the original price was so inflated, the new price is still out of reach of most actual buyers. Legitimate buyers caught in the middle find their rates jumping too, but because the price of the house is going down as speculators try and dump their stock, the price of the house goes down relative to the mortgage issued, and thus they can't refinance and are locked into paying the original terms. Unable to sell the house and unable to afford the monthly payments, the owners, legitimate and speculators, default on their mortgages. They stop paying. Eventually, the default rate reaches criticality and the bonds fail. As the bonds fail, this impacts all the first-order buyers of the bonds, hedge funds, pension funds, retirement savings funds, and the like. It also cascades through all derivatives, which are financial products that take their value directly from the value of the bond. This creates a knock-on effect. Huge segments of the economy turn out to be dead trees, rotten to the core, but as a rotten tree falls, it still shreds its neighbors and crushes anything below it. It was a failure.
Quite the Genshin Impact! Yes, 2008 was basically Genshin Impact. It was all a predicament.
Selling the bonds and providing the capital to build the houses to generate the mortgages. The ratings agencies checking the bonds were themselves publicly traded and dependent on being in good relations with the banks, incentivized to rubber stamp whatever rating would make their client happy. The regulatory agencies that should have seen the problem coming were gutted by budget cuts and mired in conflicts of interest as employees used their positions in regulation to secure higher-paying jobs in industry. And, the cherry on top, the people largely responsible for it all knew that because they and their toxic products were so interwoven into the foundations of the economy, they could count on a bailout from the government because no matter how rotten they were very large trees.
Not gonna lie, this is enough to make any person depressed. This shit.
This naked display of greed and fraud created what would be fertile soil for both anti-capitalist movements and hyper-capitalist movements. Both groups of people who saw themselves as being screwed over by the system, with one group diagnosing the problem as the system's inherently corrupt and corrupting incentives, and the other seeing the crisis as a consequence of too much regulation, too much exclusion. The hyper-capitalist or anarcho-capitalist argument is that in a less constrained market, there would be more incentive to call foul, that regulation had only succeeded in creating an in-group that was effectively able to conspire without competition. Of course, this argument fails to consider that a substantial number of people within the system did, in fact, get fabulously wealthy specifically by betting against the synthetic cess of the market, but regardless. Into this environment in 2009 arrived Bitcoin, an all-electronic peer-to-peer currency. Philosophically, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general was paraded as an end to banks and centralized currency. This is what will form the bedrock, both philosophical and technological, that NFTs will be built on top of. It's a bit of a hike from here to the Bored Ape Yacht Club, so I guess get ready for that. Strap in. As we get into this, we're going to have to deal with a lot of vocabulary, need to deal with a lot of complexity. Some of this is the result of systems that are very technically intricate, and some of this is from systems that are poorly designed or deliberately obtuse in order to make them difficult to understand and thus appear more legitimate. The entire subject sits at the intersection of two fields that are notoriously prone to hype-based obfuscation, computer tech and finance, and inherits a lot of bad habits from both, with a reputation for making things deliberately more difficult to understand, specifically to create the illusion that only they are smart enough to understand it. Mining and minting are both methods of making tokens, which are the base thing that blockchains deal with, but the two are colloquially different processes, where mining is a coin token created as a result of the consensus protocol, and minting is user-initiated addition of a token to a blockchain. All blockchains are made of nodes, and these nodes can be watcher nodes, miner nodes, or validator nodes, though most miner nodes are also validator nodes. Fractionalization is the process of taking one asset and creating a new asset that represents portions of the original. So you get DOG, a meme coin crypto DeFi venture capital fund backed by the fractionalization of the original Doge meme sold as an NFT to Pleaser DAO on the Ethereum network. I'm sorry.
The fucking what? Yes. Probably. Sure. I accept it. I accept that. We go inside. It's oh, I got it. Crypto NFTs are basically Kingdom Hearts lore. Like trying to explain fucking Kingdom Hearts to a person. Like Ansem's Heartless's Nobody is inside of Mickey Mouse's Nobody, which is the dark reflection without the heart of the in the darkness. Fuck me. The nobodies are people without their heart, because when you kill a person, their soul splits into a heartless and a nobody. The nobody representing their physical body, contorting into not having a soul, and the heartless becomes its own little dark creature consumed by the darkness inside of everybody, which basically fuck off. sorry, I went on a tangent. Basically, NFTs are Kingdom Hearts, and if we can laugh with Kingdom Hearts people, we need to laugh even harder with NFT bros, probably. I think that's the messaging we're actually all taking away from this, but whatever, let me continue, sorry.
Transactions, because rather than holding a sum that conceptually represents physical currency, the crypto coins in your crypto wallet are the actual money. And because this money isn't issued by a government...
Hi fellas, somebody mentioned the door to darkness. Buy my NFTs, bored monkey, bored mouse.
Purpose or by accident. It brings the flexibility and anonymity of cash and barter to the digital realm, allowing individuals to transact without oversight or intermediaries. And in a one-paragraph pitch, you can see the appeal. There's a compelling narrative there. But, of course, in the 12 years since then, none of that played out as designed. Bitcoin was structurally too slow and expensive to handle regular commerce. The whole thing basically came out the gate as a speculative financial vehicle, and so the only consumer market that could be a viable use was buying and selling prohibited drugs, where the high fees, rapid price fluctuations, and multi-hour transaction times were mitigated by receiving LSD in the mail a week later.
Hey.
And as far as banking is concerned, Bitcoin was never designed to solve the
Bitcoin used to be awesome. You used to be able to get drugs with it, apparently.
Only to be the new
which totally is not good, but or it is.
Revolution, but at best a changing of the guard. The gripe is not with the outcomes of 2008, but the fact that
it's the Mickey Mouse letter check
in order to get in on the grift in 2006. And even the change of the guard is an illusion. Old money finance assholes like the Winklevoss twins were some of the first big names to jump onto crypto, where they remain to this day. Financial criminal Jordan Belfort, convicted of fraud for running pump and dump schemes and barred for life from trading regulated securities or acting as a broker, loves crypto. Venture capitalist Chris Dixon, who has made huge bank off the old web in his role as a general partner at VC firm Andreessen Horowitz, is super popular in the NFT space. He likes to paint himself as an outsider underdog, fighting the gatekeepers, but he also sits on the boards of Coinbase, a large cryptocurrency exchange that makes money by being the gatekeeper, collecting a fee on all entries and exits to the crypto economy, and Oculus VR, which is owned by Meta, nay Facebook. Peter Thiel, who also went from wealthy to ultra-wealthy off the Web2 boom via PayPal, loves crypto, and is friends with a bunch of eugenics advocates who promote cryptocurrency as a return to sound money for a whole bunch of extremely racist reasons, because when they start talking about banks and bankers, they mean Jews. Some of the largest institutional cryptocurrency are the exact same investment banks that created the subprime loan crash. Rather than being a reprieve to the people harmed by the housing bubble, the people whose savings and retirements were unknown to them.
Yes, by the way, I like listening to videos like this whilst drawing or doing any kind of work because I'm crazy. Screw regular gaming videos, they're boring. This is next level.
99% of the problems with
that it is our FNAF, so picture poison.
Problems are patterns of human behavior. Their incentives, their social structures, their modalities. The problem is what people are doing to others, not that the building they're doing it in has the word bank on the outside. In addition to not fixing problems, Bitcoin also came with a pretty substantial drawback. The innovation of Bitcoin over previous attempts at digital currency was to employ a distributed append-only ledger, a kind of database where new entries can only be added to the end, and then to have several different nodes called validators compete over who gets to validate the next update. These are, respectively, the blockchain and proof of work.
Son watching MasterChef and eating.
Proof of work has an interesting history as a technology.
Look, this is I'm gonna stay out of DMCA takedown and stuff like that. I'm just gonna be watching YouTube content. So I just watch YouTubers. I don't watch shows and, you know, real things. Just YouTube, which is made up things. Which, or well, they're not made up, but you know. Oh, let me put the link of this in the description. Maybe that's a good idea.
Infrastructure of anyone attempting to spam millions of emails. How it works in Bitcoin, simply put, is that when a block of transactions are ready to be recorded to the ledger, all of the mining nodes in the network compete with one another to solve a cryptographic math problem that's based on the data inside the block. Effectively, they're competing to figure out the equation that yields a specific result when the contents of the block are fed into it, with the complexity of the desired result getting deliberately more difficult based on the total processing power available to the network. Once the math problem is solved, the rest
that was a big controversy. Although,
since the
look,
contents of the block can be fed.
the difference between watching Avatar is that if you're watching Avatar Last Airbender on stream, you're kind of being stupid, right? Because you know that shit's copyrighted. Like, if you've not heard about YouTube's aggressive DMCA takedowns over the years, I'm surprised you just thought that would be okay, right? This, however, is a video essay online, which came out 3 days ago. Wow, I actually missed a jump on this. So I think that this is the similar. I could just be listening to music while drawing, but this I find more interesting because I haven't fully watched it. So I just want to be listening to more of this.
It either spits out the valid answer or fails. If the equation works and the consensus of validator signs off on it, the block is added to the bottom of the ledger, and the miner who solved the problem first is rewarded with newly generated Bitcoin. The complexity of the answer that the computers are trying to solve scales up based on the network's processing power, specifically to incur heavy diminishing returns as a protection against an attack on the network where someone just builds a bigger computer and takes over. Critics pointed out that this created new problems. Adversarial validation would deliberately incur escalating processing costs, which would in turn generate perverse structural incentives that would quickly reward capital holders and lock out any individual that wasn't already obscenely wealthy, because while the escalating proof of work scheme incurs heavy diminishing returns are still returns. So more would always go to those with the resources to build the bigger rig. No matter what Bitcoin future was envisioned, in the here and now, computer hardware can be bought with dollars. Rather than dismantling corrupt power structures, this would just become a new tool for existing wealth. And that's exactly what happened. Thus began an arms race for bigger and bigger processing rigs, followed by escalating demands for the support systems, hardware engineers, HVAC, and operating space needed to put those rigs in. And don't worry, we're not forgetting.
They'll find them one day. You can't run away. Japanese companies will find those AMVs and they'll fuck you up.
Because of the winner-takes-all nature of the competition, huge amounts of redundant work are being done and discarded. Estimates for this power consumption are hard to verify. The data is very complex, spread across hundreds of operators around the globe who move frequently in search of cheap electricity, and it's all pretty heavily politicized. But even conservative estimates from within the crypto mining industry puts the sum energy cost of Bitcoin processing on par with the power consumption of a small industrialized nation.
Oof.
Now, evangelists will counter that the global banking industry also uses a lot of power, gesturing at things like idle ATMs humming away all night long, which is, strictly speaking, not untrue. On a factual level, the entire global banking industry does, in fact, use a lot of total electricity. But for scale, it takes 6 hours of that sustained power draw for the Bitcoin network to process as many transactions as Visa handles in 1 minute. And during that time, Visa is using fractions of a cent of electricity per transaction. And that's just Visa. That's one major institution. So, yes, globally, the entirety of the banking industry consumes a lot of power, and a non-trivial portion of that is waste that could be better allocated. but it's also the global banking industry for 7 billion people and not the hobby horse of a few 100,000 gambling addicts. So just to head all this off at the pass, Bitcoin and proof of work cryptocurrency aren't incentivizing a move to green energy sources like solar and wind, they are offsetting it. Because electrical consumption, electrical waste, is the value that underpins Bitcoin. Miners spend X dollars in electricity to mine a Bitcoin. They expect to be able to sell that coin for at least X plus profit. When new power sources come online and the price of electricity goes down, they don't let X go down, they build a bigger machine. In 2012, Vitalik Buterin, a crypto enthusiast and butthurt warlock main, set out to fix what he saw as the...
Oh, no, I don't have any stabilization set up. That's what I'm doing wrong.
Rather than becoming the new digital currency, a thing that people actually use to buy stuff, Bitcoin had become an unwieldy speculative financial instrument, too slow and expensive to use for anything other than stunt purchases of expensive cars. It was infested with money laundering and mired in bad press. After the FBI shut down Silk Road, you couldn't even buy drugs with it anymore. In practice, you couldn't do anything with your Bitcoin, but
drugs were the best part.
Lock up money you already have in the hopes that Bitcoin goes up later, and pray you don't lose it all in a scam, lose access to your wallet, or have it all stolen by an exchange. The result, launched in 2014, was Ethereum, a competing cryptocurrency that boasted lower fees, faster transaction times, a reduced electrical footprint, and most notably, a sophisticated processing functionality. While the Bitcoin blockchain only tracks the location and movement of Bitcoins, Ethereum would be broader. In addition to tracking Ether coins, the ledger would also be able to track arbitrary blocks of data. As long as they were compatible with the structure of the Ethereum network, these blocks of data could even be programs that would utilize the validation network as a distributed virtual machine. Vitalik envisioned this as a vast, infinite machine, duplicated and distributed across thousands or millions of computers, a system onto which the entire history of a new internet could be immutably written, immune to censorship and impossible for governments to take down. He saw it dismantling banks and other intermediary industries, allowing everyone to be their own bank, to be their own stockbroker, to bypass governments, regulators, and insurance agencies. His peers envisioned a future where Ethereum became not just a repository of financial transactions, but of identity, with deeds, driver's licenses, professional credentials, medical records, educational achievements, and employment history turned into tokens and stored immutable and eternal on the chain. Through crypto and the Ethereum virtual machine, they could bring all the benefits of Wall Street investors and Silicon Valley venture capital.
It's a program. Oh wait,
the unbanked and
let me go for a second. Answer this. How to make the PNG tuber is yeah, basically so the program is voice activated, and after a certain threshold it'll open its mouth or bounce around or whatever you want to make it do. However, I have seen that apparently there's a newer one that you can even make it do eye movement. You can even have it blink and stuff like that, which is interesting. Don't know how far I'm going to go with that, but like the main idea is just to have basically it's going to be a static image. It's going to sometimes open its mouth when I talk, and other times it's going to shut the hell up. So I can also now do content like VR and more games that will probably take a little bit more processing power. And over time I can then build like something like whatever the hell I'm making now, right? I can recreate in 3D and then add the facial features to it again and just have my own custom model instead of the Vroid body that I inhabit right now. So it makes it a little bit interesting, you know, a little bit different. What was I doing? Oh, yeah, I was watching a video. Yeah.
This heady, high-minded philosophy,
but it is voice-based,
in
yes.
great detail in the journalistic abortion, The Infinite Machine, by failed journalist turned crypto shill Camilla Russo. The book is actually really interesting. Not for the merits of the writing, Russo fails to interrogate the validity or rationality of even the simplest claims, and falls just shy of hagiography by occasionally noting that something was a bit tacky or embarrassing, but only just shy. She tells florid stories about the impoverished people that Vitalik and friends claim to be working to save, but never once considers that the solutions offered might not actually work, or that the people claiming to want to solve those problems might not even be working on them. That's actually a big issue, since the entire crypto space, during the entire time that Russo's book covers, was absolutely awash with astroturfing schemes, where two guys would go to some small community in Laos or Angola, take a bunch of pictures of people at a crypto investing seminar, generate some headlines for their coin or fund, and then peace out. For years,
Yikes.
people were going around asking vendors if they could slap a Bitcoin sticker onto the back of the cash register, because the optics of making it look like a place takes Bitcoin,
Optics
was
meaning
cheaper
just
and
the
easier
look of?
than actually using Bitcoin as a currency. We have an entire decade of credulous articles about how Venezuela and Chile are on the verge of switching entirely to crypto, based entirely on the claim of two trust fund dudes from San Bernardino. A whole 10 years littered with discarded press releases about Dell and Microsoft and Square bringing crypto to the consumers before just quietly discontinuing their services after a year or two when they realized the demand isn't actually there. The fact the development of Ethereum was extremely dependent on a $100,000 fellowship grant from Peter Thiel is mentioned, but the ideological implications of that connection are never explored. The entire subject occupies a single paragraph, sprinkled as flavor into a story about Vitalik and his co-developers airing their grievances about some petty infighting. The book is mostly useful for its value as a point of reference against reality. It's a very thorough, if uncritical, document of absolutely insane claims. The idea was that the traits of blockchain technology, such as having no central point of failure, being uncensorable, cutting out intermediaries, and being immutable, could also benefit other applications besides money. Financial instruments like stocks and bonds and commodities like gold were the obvious targets, but people were also talking about putting other representations of value like property deeds and medical records on the blockchain too. Those efforts, admirable considering Bitcoin hadn't and still hasn't been adopted widely as currency, were known as Bitcoin 2.0. I love this paragraph because it outlines just how disconnected from reality the people actually building cryptocurrencies really are. They don't understand anything about the ecosystems they're trying to disrupt. They only know that these are things that can be conceptualized as valuable, and assume that because they understand one very complicated thing, programming with cryptography, that all other complicated things must be lesser in complexity and naturally lower in the hierarchy of reality. Nails, easily driven by the hammer
Where's my other
that they
pen?
created.
I had a
The
second
idea
pen.
of putting medical records on a public, decentralized, trustless blockchain is absolutely nightmarish, and anyone who proposes it should be instantly discredited. The fact that Russo fails to question any of this is journalistic malpractice. Now, in terms of improvements over Bitcoin, Ethereum has many. It's not hard. Bitcoin sucks. In terms of problems with Bitcoin, Ethereum solves none of them and introduces a whole new suite of problems driven by the techno-fetishistic egotism of assuming that programmers are uniquely suited to solve society's problems. Vitalik wants his invention to be an infinite machine, so let's ask what that machine is built to do. In order to really understand the full scope of this, we do need to dig a bit more into the technical aspects, because that technical functionality informs the way the rest of the system behaves. In a very McLuhanist way, the machine shapes the environment around it. As already mentioned, a blockchain consists of two broad fundamental components, the ledger and the consensus mechanism. All currently popular blockchains use an append-only ledger. Now this is, on its own, not that remarkable. Append-only is just a database setting that only allows new entries to be added to the end of the current database. Once something is written to the database, it's read-only. Standard applications are typically things like activity logs, which is conceptually all a blockchain really is, a giant log of transactions. The hitch is that it's decentralized, with elective participants hosting a complete copy of the entire log, and this is where the second component comes in, the consensus mechanism. All validating participants, called nodes, have a complete copy of the database, and no one copy is considered to be the authoritative copy. Instead, there is a consensus mechanism that determines which transactions actually happened. This is all the proof of work stuff. Proof of work isn't the only consensus mechanism, but it's popular because it's very easy to implement by just cloning Bitcoin, and is resilient against the kind of attacks that crypto enthusiasts care about. It's a very brute force solution, but legitimately, if you want a network of ledgers where no one trusts anyone else, just making everyone on the network do extreme amounts of wasted duplicate work is a solution. One of the major problems that this machine solves is what's called the double spend problem. How do you stop someone from spending the same dollar twice? If someone tries, how do you determine which transaction really happened? Banks solve this problem by not correlating account balance with any specific dollar, processing transactions first come first serve, which they track with central resources, and punishing users with overdraft fees for double spending. Eschewing a central solution, cryptocurrencies rely on their consensus mechanism. The most popular alternative to proof of work is proof of stake, where validators post collateral of some kind, usually whatever currency is endemic to the chain, with the amount of collateral determining their odds of being rewarded the validation bounty for any given transaction. The main proposal of proof of stake
Loud
is that
noises.
it significantly reduces the wasted power problems of proof of work, but it's less resilient than proof of work. On the energy cost side of things, proof of stake is still inefficient just by virtue of the sheer volume of redundancy, but on a per user basis, it's at least inefficient on the scale of like an MMO as opposed to a steel foundry. This is difficult to assess because the most popular proof of stake chains are still unpopular and low traffic in the scope of things, heavily centralized. Claims about scalability are backed up by nothing but the creator's word. Proof of stake is also significantly more complex because there now needs to be some mechanism for determining who gets to do the validations and also determining how audits are conducted, and then the question of who has control over that system and whether or not someone can gain control of that system or control over the whole stake via just buying out the staking pool, etc, etc, etc. Proof of stake also even more explicitly rewards the wealthy who have the capital to both stake and spend. It's also even more explicitly exclusionary. Ethereum's proposed proof-of-stake migration has a buy-in of 32 Ether, which at the time of writing is about $130,000.
The fucking what?
Only early adopters and the wealthy can actually meaningfully participate for more than just crumbs. This is, in turn, compounding inherent problems with the long-term growth of the chain. Even if you solve the escalating power requirements of proof of work, the data requirements of storing the chain and participating as a validator are also prohibitive in a way that inevitably centralizes power in the hands of a few wealthy operators.
85 terabytes per year is totally fine, right? Like, because 85 terabytes per year, like if you have even one person that just keeps buying like a $100 hard drive, like I think once every month, then they can store it, right? Like it's something like that. So it's too big for just like a casual user that just wants to run the chain on their laptop, but one dedicated user who cares, like they can totally afford to store the chain. So 85 terabytes not a big deal, right? But once you crank that number higher, there comes a point at which it starts becoming a really big deal.
The major downside of all these systems is that they're extremely slow. Proof of work is inefficient by design, and proof of stake has multiple layers of lottery that need to be executed before any transaction can be conducted, and, in particular, suffers from delays when elected validators are offline and the system needs to draw again. As an extension of being slow, they're also prone to getting overwhelmed if too many people try to make transactions simultaneously, which can cause desyncs between validators and even lead to what's called a fork, where two or more pools of validators reach a different consensus about the state of the network, and each branch keeps on going afterwards, assuming that it is the authoritative version. Forks can also be caused on purpose, and this is, in fact, the only way to effectively undo transactions. Like, if someone stole your coins, the only way to get them back would be to convince the people who manage the chain itself to negotiate a rollback. That's foreshadowing for later. Now, because the nature of a fork involves a disagreement on what transactions actually happened and who got paid for those transactions, this means that each arm of the fork has a vested interest in its own arm being the authoritative arm. So resolving forks can turn into irreconcilable schisms, which is funny as an outside observer viewing it as an inane internet drama, but is frankly unacceptable for anything posturing as a serious and legitimate currency. Like, it's important to stress that because of the nature of the chain, the way that the ID numbers of later blocks are dependent on the outcomes of previous blocks, these aren't just a few disputed transactions that need to be resolved between the buyer, the seller, and the payment processor. These are disagreements on the fundamental state of the entire economy that create an entire alternate reality. It's an ecosystem that absolutely demolishes consumer protections and makes the re-implementation of them extremely difficult. One of the big selling points of all this technology is that it's particularly secure, very difficult for anyone to hack it directly since there's so much redundancy. a lot of hay is made about the system's resiliency against man-in-the-middle attacks, which are your classic Hollywood hacker-type attacks. Someone sends a command from point A, and on the way to point B, it is intercepted and altered. Someone hacks into the bank and adds an arbitrary number of zeros onto their account balance. Evangelists will commonly claim that blockchain could revolutionize the global shipping industry and reduce fraud. It's a good claim to interrogate. First, the things that blockchain is capable of tracking are things that manufacturers and shippers are already tracking, or at least trying to track. So this is not so much revolution as it would be standardization. Even that is built on a predicate assumption that everyone picks the same chain. It's an extremely optimistic assumption. Many firms deliberately want their information centralized and obfuscated to protect against corporate espionage. The lack of a shared, standardized bucket to put all the information into is not because it's been heretofore impossible, but because it's been undesirable. Second, it assumes the existence of a theoretical mechanism that ensures the synchronization of the chain and reality above and beyond the current capacity of logistics software. Some means of preventing people from just lying to the blockchain and giving it the information it expects to be receiving. The blockchain equivalent of ripping off the shipping label and slapping it on the new box. The bigger problem here is that in the pantheon of fraud, man-in-the-middle attacks are actually pretty rare. Global shipping needs to deal with it in certain capacities, but taken on the whole, the vast majority of fraud doesn't come from altering information as it passes between parties, rather from colluding parties entering bad information at the start. Con artists don't hack the Gibson to transfer your funds to their offshore account, they convince you to give them your password. Most fraud comes from people who technically have permission to be doing what they're doing. Rather than preventing these actual common types of fraud, cryptocurrency has made them absurdly easy, and the main reason why cryptocurrency needs to be so resistant to man-in-the-middle attacks is because the decentralized nature of the network otherwise makes them acutely vulnerable to those attacks. What this all kind of means is that blockchains are all pretty bad at doing most of the things they're trying to do, and a lot of the innovations in blockchains are attempts at solving problems that blockchains introduced. The biggest issue that cryptocurrencies have suffered from is a lack of tangible things to actually use them on as currencies, rent or food or transit. This is for pretty simple reasons. One is that the transaction fees on popular chains are so prohibitive that it's pointless to use them on any transaction that isn't hundreds if not thousands of dollars. No one is going to buy the Bitcoin bucket from their local KFC. Ethereum's main transaction fee, called gas, on a good day runs around $20 US per transaction. But that's severely optimistic. As of December 2021, the daily average cost of gas hasn't gone below $50 US since August, with the 3-month daily average riding over $130. And that's just the daily average. The hourly price can and does swing by up to 2 orders of magnitude. The throughput of blockchains is so abysmal that transaction slots are auctioned off to the highest bidder. That's why these numbers are so extreme. It only takes a few high rollers competing on a transaction to drive the hourly price of gas up over $1,000 US. The internal term for this is a gas war, because it's just that common. Bots, in particular, can drive gas prices well into the tens of thousands of dollars as they compete to capitalize on mistakes, such as someone listing something for sale well below its general market price. Also, it needs to be stressed, these gas wars aren't localized to just the thing that's being fought over. If Steam is getting hammered because Concerned Ape posted Stardew Valley 2 by surprise, that will probably stay pretty well contained. If Taylor Swift concert tickets go on sale and Live Nation gets crushed, you might never even know. What those don't do is cause the cost of placing an order on DriveThruRPG to spike by 8,000% for 3 hours. The second big reason is that value on the coins themselves is so volatile that unless you're willing to engage with the speculative nature of the coins, there's actually a huge risk in accepting them as payment for anything. Bitcoin in particular, owing to its glacial transaction times, suffers from problems where the value of the coin can change dramatically between the start and end of a transaction. This is such a problem that it's led to the rise of an entire strata of middlemen in the
I do not know who Beerus is.
So-called stablecoin exchanges like Tether that exist to quickly transfer The stablecoins, rather than having a speculative value, have a value that's pegged to the value of an actual currency, like the euro or US dollar. The underlying problem that they exist to solve is itself twofold. One is that converting cryptocurrency into dollars is the step of the process that makes you accountable to the taxman, and the primary goal of crypto in general is to starve public services, so that's a no-go. The second is that there just aren't actually that many buyers, and there's not enough liquidity in the ecosystem to cash out big holdings. Tether, the largest stablecoin, used to advertise itself as being backed on a one-to-one basis back when it was called Realcoin, but that language has become far more nebulous over time as it's become obvious that it just isn't true. This is a very complicated
The Dragon Ball character. Hey, he does kind of look like that. True.
is that the people who own Tether also own a real money exchange called Bitfinex, and there's evidence that the two services, both which require having actual dollars on hand in order to back their products and facilitate exchanges, are sharing the same pool of money, swapping it back and forth as needed. This means that at any given time, either service is potentially backed by $0, or at least that's what the data implies might be the case. Point is that if you're a high roller with hundreds of millions of conceptual dollars tied up in cryptocurrency, there's a fundamental cash problem. Your holdings have inflated to tens, hundreds, or thousands of times what you put in, but that price is just theoretical. It's speculative. You have all this crypto, you can't meaningfully spend it, and there's not enough buyers for you to get it out. In order for you to cash out, you need to convince someone else to buy in. These factors, taken holistically, mean that cryptocurrency is a bigger fool's scam. There's a lot of digital ink spilt trying to outline if it's a decentralized Ponzi scheme or a pyramid scheme or some hybrid of the two, which is a taxonomical argument that I'm not here to settle, but like both of those, it's a bigger fool's scam. The whole thing operates by buying worthless assets, believing that you will later be able to sell them to a bigger fool. The entire structure of cryptocurrencies at their basic level of operation is designed to deliver the greatest rewards to the earliest adopters, regardless of if you're talking about proof of work or proof of stake. This is inherent to their being. As Stephen Deal put it, these schemes around crypto tokens cannot create or destroy actual dollars. They can only shift them around. If you sell your crypto and make a profit in dollars, it's only because someone else bought it at a higher price than you did. And then they expect to do the same, and so on ad infinitum. Every dollar that comes out of cryptocurrency needs to come from a later investor putting a dollar in. Crypto investments cannot be anything but a zero-sum game, and many are actually massively negative-sum. In order to presume a crypto investment functions as a store of value, we must simultaneously need to suppose an infinite chain of greater fools who keep buying these assets at any irrational price and into the future forever.
Queue in rappers with their NFTs.
Alright, with all that out of the way, let's talk about the ape in the room.
Monkey time!
I'm too focused and you know you'll never ever deter me. Crypto astronaut, DJ moving so hazardous. Crypto what I gon' dabble, open seas like chapel. Yeah.
Cringe, no.
NFTs, non-fungible tokens.
There we
At a
are!
conceptual level, the tech acts as a sort of generic
Took
database to
Took
mediate
us 40 minutes, but we're here. Monkey time!
The most optimistic read on it is a framework for a type of computer code that creates so-called true digital objects, meaning digital objects that possess the attributes of both physical objects and digital.
Stop it, no, no.
losslessly transmittable,
Don't encourage
while
them.
providing strict uniqueness, which is an important concept. Strict uniqueness is a way of saying that two different things are different things, even if they're different copies of the same thing.
Well, I think he
copy
might have
of
commissioned
Prey
that,
by
so.
E.L. James is strictly unique. While millions of copies of the book exist, this is the only copy that is this copy. And this is the only copy that has the very specific damage of being glued shut and thrown into the Bow River. It is also strictly scarce. While millions of copies of Grey exist, that's still a finite number, meaning it is possible, though not immediately practical, for the world to run out of copies. NFTs impose a simulacrum of this physical scarcity and uniqueness onto digital objects within their ecosystem. On a technical level, non-fungible token is just a token that has a unique serial number and can't be subdivided into smaller parts. Two tokens, even two that tokenize the same conceptual thing, are still strictly unique with different serial numbers. Within the context of Ethereum and its clones, these tokens are effectively a small packet of data that can contain a payload of code. It's a box that you can put a microprogram into. That microprogram is called a smart contract, a name that is so comically full of itself that I feel like it's misleading to even call them that, but I have to for simplicity's sake. But real quick, yes, that is how the inventors conceptualized the role of these things, as the unity of programming and law. The phrase code is law gets bandied about as an aphorism, and it's just so full of holes that we're going to be spending the next forever talking about it. Before we move into that, this is the root of it. There is a tremendous disconnect between what NFT advocates say they do and what they actually do. But, and this is very important, both the claimed functionality and the actual functionality are both bad. It's all broken, none of it works well, so the idea of it becoming the norm is terrible. But the prospect of what the world would look like if all the mythologizing and overpromising came true also super sucks. The end goal of this infinite machine is the financialization of everything. Any benefits of digital uniqueness end up being a quirk, a necessary precondition of turning everything into a stock market. There's nothing particularly offensive underpinning the concept of digital collectibles. Frameworks and subcultures for forms of digital collectibles have existed for decades within various contexts, but NFTs exist to lend credibility and functionality to the cryptocurrencies that they exist on top of. Okay. Code is law. Now, what that little smart contract program does is up to the token creator. It can be a relatively sophisticated applet that allows the user to execute various commands, or it can be a plain hypertext link to a static URL of an image, or anything in between. Most are a lot closer to static URLs than they are to functional programs. This is in part because the thing that NFTs have become synonymous with are digital artworks, but really what the token represents is arbitrary. It can be a video game item, a permission slip, a subscription, a domain name, a virus that steals all your digital stuff, or a combination of all of those. Well, the concept has been floating around since 2015 when the framework was thrown together in a day during a hackathon, and the first Ethereum implemented tokens were minted in 2017. For the mainstream, the story starts in the spring of 2021, following a string of high-priced sales of tokens minted by digital artist Beeple, culminating in a $69 million sale of a collage of Beeple's work in March via old money auction house Christie's. This high-profile sale triggered a media frenzy and an online gold rush as various minor internet celebrities raced to cash in on the trend, hoping to be the next to cash out big. Over the course of about 6 weeks, the ecosystem burnt through just about every relevant meme possible. Lena Morris, popularized on Reddit as Overly Attached Girlfriend, sold the original screen grab to Emirati music producer Farzan Fardin Fard for the equivalent of a little over $400,000 US. Zoe Roth, aka Disaster Girl, sold the NFT of the original Disaster Girl photograph to Fard for also $400,000. Kyle Craven sold the original Bad Luck Brian photo for $36,000 to anonymous buyer at A. Nyan Cat sold for almost $600,000, with multiple variants also selling for six figures. Allison Harvard sold Creepy Chan 1 and 2 for $67,000 and $83,000 respectively, also both to Fard. In addition to these high-profile sales of things that were already popular, whale buyers like Fard were dropping 4- and 5-figure sales onto a random assortment of other artworks. Corporations and individuals auctioned off NFTs representing intangible, non-transferable concepts like the first tweet or the first text message. Cryptocurrency evangelists jumped at every opportunity to proselytize this new, bold, revolutionary marketplace that would free artists from the yoke of the gig economy and provide buyers with an immutable record of ownership of authenticated artwork stored on an eternal distributed machine. You could be holding the next generation's Picasso. Artists could continue to earn passive revenue from secondary sales. Imagine what it'll be worth in 5 years. This created an air of absolute mania, as it seemed like anything could be the golden ticket. Digital artists, especially those working with media like generative art that's difficult to monetize via conventional channels like physical prints, raced into the space and, on the whole, lost a lot of money. Critics began questioning what it was that was actually being bought and sold. Copyright, commercial permission, a digital file, bragging rights? In a huge number of cases, the answer wasn't very clear, and even the sellers, caught in the promise of a payday, weren't altogether sure what they had even sold. Tons of the tokens did literally
Souls.
images stored on
Souls is what we're selling. Souls.
HTTP, meaning the bought assets would be just as vulnerable to link rot as anything else. Some pointed to images stored on peer-to-peer IPFS servers, which are more resistant to link rot, as, similar to a torrent, it only requires that someone keep the file active somewhere, rather than requiring the original server to stay up. But as millions of dead torrents prove, that's still a far cry from the eternal storage solution that evangelists were claiming. The images were stored and delivered the same way as any other image on the internet, easily saved or duplicated simply by virtue of the fact that in order for your computer to display an image, it needs to download it. Claims of digital scarcity apply only to the token itself, not the thing the token signified. More than that, there was no cryptographic relationship between the image and the tokens. The image associated with a token could be easily altered or replaced if the person with access to the server that the image was hosted on just changed file names, making the relationship between the two tenuous and flimsy in a way that undermined the claims that this was somehow a more durable, reliable way of transacting digital art. There was also no root proof of authenticity, no confirmation that the person minting the artwork was the person who created the artwork. This is a pretty handy encapsulation of the way that blockchain fails to solve the most common problems with fraud.
That really
You
sucks.
start with bad data going.
I'm taking a little
into
break, by the
system
way,
input, not
because
data
my hand hurts.
altered midstream.
And
Artists
I'm
who
thinking.
complained about this system, which clearly incentivized impersonating popular artists, including deceased artists, were told that it was their fault for not jumping in sooner. That if they had bought in and minted their stuff first, then it would have been easy to prove the forgeries. Because evangelists don't see this as a tool, as a market that may or may not fit into an artist's business. They see it as the future. So failure to participate isn't a business decision, it's just a mistake. They're terrible people. All told, the frenzy quickly. By June, the market had already
They're terrible
receded
people.
by about 90%, which incidentally just further incentivized the low-effort process of minting other people's artwork to the point that art platform DeviantArt implemented an extremely well-received
Send me a link. Send me a link, by the way. Send me a link to that. We can watch that too.
The output of that is extremely depressing. Not to labor the point, but reposting digital art without attribution is nothing new. Profiting off someone else's art is also nothing new. All that's new is NFTs represent a high-energy marketplace with an irrational pricing culture where the main buyer is easily flattered and not particularly discerning. The potential payoff is extremely high, much, much higher than a bootleg Redbubble store. The consequences border on non-existent, and the market is clearly in an untenable state, so there's an incentive to get in at as low a cost as possible before it collapses. Hence, the absolute plague of art theft. Even the argument that artists could make passive revenue off secondary sales turned out to have a lot of caveats attached. One, the smart contract for the token needs to have a function that defines royalties, so anyone who minted a token based off of hype, making it sound like an inherent function of the system, was out of luck. And two, the token doesn't know what a sale is and can't differentiate between being sold and being transferred. So it's actually the marketplace that informs the token, you're being sold, and collects the royalties. End result, royalties are easily bypassed simply by using a marketplace that doesn't collect royalties, or uses a different format of royalty collection that's incompatible with the function the token uses. While a few sellers, legitimate and otherwise, made off with undeniably big paydays, hundreds of thousands of artists bought in only to find that there wasn't a new, revolutionary, highly trafficked audience of digital art collectors. Instead, there was a closed market, dealing in casino chips, where the primary winners were those already connected, who already had the means to get the attention of the whales in the media, a market where participation required buying into a cryptocurrency at a rapidly fluctuating price in order to pay the minting costs to post the work where it would sit unsold. This left those artists in the lurch, where they had to choose between just eating the losses or attempting to convince their existing audience to buy in as well. The people who actually won were the people with large holdings of cryptocurrency, specifically Ethereum, which mediated the vast majority of these big-ticket purchases. David Gerard, author of Attack of the 50-Foot Blockchain, summarized it on his blog very succinctly as such. NFTs are entirely for the benefit of the crypto grifters. The only purpose the artists serve is as aspiring suckers to pump the concept of crypto, and of course to buy cryptocurrency to pay for minting NFTs. Sometimes the artist gets some crumbs to keep them pumping the concept of crypto. The rush benefits them in two ways. First, the price of Ether itself goes up directly from the spike in demand. Between January and May, the price of Ether rose from $700 to $4,000. And second, there's new actual buyers who aren't just trading Bitcoin for Tether for Ether and back again, but are buying in with dollars, providing the whole system with the liquidity needed for whales to actually cash out. This arrangement, needing to buy a highly volatile coin from people who paid far, far less for it in order to participate in a market that they control, is why people reflexively describe the whole arrangement as a scam. If you buy in at $4,000 and compete against people who bought in at $4, you're the sucker. It reveals the basic truth that these aren't marketplaces, they're casinos. And indeed, even through all the rhetoric of protecting artists and whatnot, was the ever-present specter of the gamble. Whatever you buy now might be worth hundreds of times more later. Constantly invoked is the opposite proposition of the bad deal. What if you had been the person who bought in at $4? Let's take a closer look at that eye-watering $69 million Beeple sale. Independent journalist Amy Castor has done an enviable job running down the details here in her piece, Metakoven, the mystery Beeple art buyer and his NFT DeFi scheme. But to summarize the long and short of her notes, the buyer is a crypto entrepreneur named Vignesh Sundaresan who purchased the piece to boost the reputation and value of his own crypto investment scheme, MetaPurse, and MetaPurse's own token, B20, which Beeple owns 2% of the total supply of. Following the Christie's sale, the reported value of B20 went from 36 cents per token to $23. And that's just the anatomy of a single sale. The very obvious conclusion observers reached was that none of this is about the art at all, but the speculative value. Not what it's worth to you.
It was all about the money,
potentially
money,
worth in the
money.
future to someone else. It's not a market, it's a casino. Gambling on the receipt for an image or video that otherwise infinitely digitally replicable. The thing itself is immaterial as long as it can make a line go up. This is the essence of the market.
Line
It
must
might
go
be
up.
what evangelists imagine they want to see as the future, the financialization of everything. The frenzied market around old Reddit memes was doomed from the start. There's a finite supply of meaningful originals, so to keep this thing going, to keep the line going up, you need something more. Something less tied to anything specific.
Sir, the Lambo's ready.
What?
The fucking hell is...
In the months since the initial craze, the marketplace had mutated.
Well, that was
The
horrifying.
thing was no longer memes or digital works from established artists, but character profiles from large, procedurally generated
Hey,
collections
monkey!
like CryptoPunks,
Monkey
World
time!
Yacht Club, Lazy Lions, Cool Cats, Ether Gals, Gator World, Baby Llama Club, Magic Mushroom Club, Rogue Society Bot, and Crypto Chicks. These were notable for, again, commanding utterly irrational prices, seemingly completely decoupled from any legitimate or legal transaction, and being generally extremely fugly. This surge generated an immediately adversarial relationship between the buyers, who touted them as both evidence of their extravagant wealth and their foresight into the future of digital economies, and pretty much everyone else.
Lol.
A very common response to anyone using one of these profile pics or bragging about their purchase became saving and reposting the image in reply, or even changing profile pics to match. Spurred by a speculative tweet from Twitter developers suggesting that they were working on an NFT verification system, Twitter users broadly rallied at the opportunity to immediately identify people that it was okay to bully. Tweets from within the cryptosphere started leaking out. Things like Santiago Santos tweeting things like NFTs equal identity 2.0. Can't remember the last time I used my pick on the left. Emphasis on physical traits. Genetic lottery. Prone to bias and prejudice. Identity by choice.
Oh my god, NFT bros are the new incels.
Representation of values and
We're gonna bully
of course, what
free range.
out was that he had paid the equivalent of $171,000 US for that profile pic, which
I want the
probably
rock
gives
that
him an
that
advantage
rock like
over
meme where it's like
the
that sound like the every time I like
even though
every time I hear
to the
an amount of
studs,
money. Not gonna lie.
literally all he was describing was
Jesus,
using
fuck
a
me.
non-representational image as a profile pic. For about 6 years, my profile on the Dungeons and Dragons forums was a stock photo of a cabbage, so not really breaking new ground here. Greg Eisenberg sat at his computer and decided to bang out, most people who make fun of NFTs own 0 NFTs, have never minted an NFT, have never participated in a community, have never staked their NFT, haven't built on top of an NFT project, have never earned an NFT playing a game, missed out on Bake, Punks, Cool Cats, etc. A chain of logic implying that skeptics of the market are just uninformed, sore losers. Incidents like these lent to the very accurate perception that the loudest voices in NFTs weren't very familiar with internet culture as a whole, weren't terribly smart in general, and were by and large coming at all this from the financial side, further supported by all of them having "tweets are not investment advice" in their Twitter bios. In short, the same people who made and bought Juicero.
What is this?
It's a Juicero.
It also laid bare that the conversations were inherently suspect. How can you ever trust the sincerity of someone telling you how awesome their $171,000 investment is when your
Never wastes his money.
stands to
LOL.
directly benefit them by potentially driving up the value of their investment portfolio? You've got to be extremely rich for $171,000 to not be an extremely sunk cost, and that's absolutely going to weigh on your mind and influence how you see the market. So for my part, I tweeted about several of these incidences and was in response hounded for days by annoying people with NFT profile pics who insisted that I just didn't get it. I wasn't seeing the community.
There's
So
a
I decided
community?
to go see the community.
Cringe.
My experiment started with the Cool Cats Discord, one of the communities that I'd been assured was
I remember when Cool Cat used to be a cringy movie we all laughed at.
Days
Remember
and
that?
Days of conversation logs,
The orange cat?
watched the active conversations, and was generally unimpressed. It was at best unremarkable. A primary concern was still rooted in the monetary value of the tokens.
If you spend 1 million on a cat, it's not just for Twitter, and no one would be happy seeing someone mint another one later for free. That's why punks are at 120 ETH. Symbols, memes, there's the value.
What wasn't unremarkable is the way that I was immediately deluged by bots sending me invites to other discords. So between the spam I was receiving and the Cool Cats dedicated shill channel, I came up with an idea.
Rap crypto, y'all know Bitcoin. I wanna thank y'all for checking out this joint. See how I handle the token rapper. And this right here is a brand new chapter. Follow me as I
Let's
go
go!
to the moon in my brand new
Oh god.
Lambo.
For days now, I've been accepting every spam NFT Discord invite I've received, and it's getting dire. Stoner Cats, Oni Ronin, Magic Mushroom Club, NF Tits, The Humanoids, Ether Gals, Cool Cats, Senzu Seeds, Pro Camel Riders, Long Ween Club, Stick Humans, Buffalo
Yes.
Uglies, World of Wojak, Gen Map,
But
Dimes,
look at all
Marbles
these.
NFT, Beverly Hills Car Club, Cash Cows, Long Neck Cartel, Pug Force, Hood Punks, Gorilla Club, Alien Archives, Betting Buddhas, Fighting Turtle Club, The Iconimals, Basement Dwellers, Wizardman Jenkins, Cotty, Metamons, Crazy Skulls, Box Gang, Gym Punks, Uncovered, Nitro Punk, Crypto Bulls, Masquerade Massacre, Cat Colony, Skell FTs, Daffy Panda Ganging Up, Betting Kong, Wolves of Wall Street, Happy Sharks, Teacup Pigs, Cool Llamas, Mad Carrot Gang,
Bro.
Barnyard Fashionistas, Soul Cities, Oink
What?
Club, Outlaw Punks, Crypto Astronauts, NFT Worlds, Panda Paradise, Time Travelers, Cyberkongs, Party Ape Billionaire Club, J Corps, Cryptocados.
I know, right? And they all look like...
As far as I got
They
before
all look
I
like
realized
DeviantArt five to 10 years ago, right? Like,
Now, this is a
let's be
fraction of a
honest.
fraction of what's out there,
They're not
but
bad. Not all the art's bad, but like...
representative sample. And
Come
I
on.
learned a lot. For example, the basic psychological profile of the average buyer is someone who is tenuously middle class, socially isolated, and highly responsive to memes. They are someone who has very little experience with real businesses and production processes,
Incels.
thus are unlikely to be turned off by unrealistic claims about future returns. They are insecure about their lack of knowledge, and this makes them very susceptible to flattery, in particular being assured that the only reason for negativity is because critics just don't understand what they understand. Being tenuously middle class gives them enough disposable income to engage with a
And even though, hey, you know what happens when you see a high quality NFT? You can print screen that shit.
About their financial future. It goes without saying that they're fixated on money and they principally understand the technology.
Never heard of
as a
commission,
means
lol,
of
true.
making money. Criticism of the system is typically met with confusion. Don't you want to make money? I also learned a lot about fraud and how to do it both on purpose and by accident.
Woo!
The term rug pull, with its derivations rug and rugged, all to describe projects that made big promises but then took the money and ran, embedded themselves in my vocabulary extremely quickly. The market is just absolutely lousy with fraud and deception. Wash trading, where you sell something to your own sock puppets in order to lure in real buyers who think they're getting a good deal, is rampant. market manipulation is so common and accepted that it's actually considered bad form if project leaders don't actively engage in it. Like, it's considered disrespectful to the buyers if the project leaders don't help them inflate the resale price. Also, and I really should not leave this merely implied, the art is bad, but not in any sort of interesting way. It's bad in a smoothed over copycat way, a low effort garbage dump from artists who have largely given up on having ideas or opinions. Derivative, lazy, ugly, hollow, and boring. The capacity for original thought long having been drained out of the illustrators kept in the employ and proximity of people who refuse to shut up about cryptocurrency, there is an overwhelming
Is a movie
to fall back on stale memes and self-flattery. A massive volume of cryptocurrency art ends up being art about cryptocurrency, transparent pandering to an audience that is either deeply stupid or easily pleased, and quite possibly both.
I'm thinking what to do next, because I want to have a body, but I'm not happy with the bodies I was drawing, so...
Bitcoin, Ethereum, stonks, to the moon, by the
To the
dip,
moon.
good morning, and desperate pleas for senpai Elon Musk to notice them, all presented with the earnestness and authenticity of a Pickle Rick bong. It's tempting to say that my approach, accepting every spam invite, was a really flawed way to delve deeper, that obviously accepting invites from spam bots would mainly lead me into less stable projects. But surprisingly no. I got just as much spam for successful projects as humanoids and NFT worlds as I did for rug pulls like crypto astronauts and hoodpunks. On the whole, if you just look at the pitch package and the sample product, there's very little material difference between a project that's going to sell out 10,000 tokens in 6 hours and one that's going to become a trash fire as the project leader has a nervous breakdown and burns them in 3 days post-launch after only selling 800 tokens. Party Ape Billionaire Club sold out, bringing in about $3.2 million, and are now flexing their wealth by partnering with other crypto projects like the 2 Chainz produced NFT cartoon show, The Red Ape Family, which is just really truly shows off the community's deep pockets and commitment to quality. Deep in their roadmap is the promise that they will start production on an MMORPG, a claim that buyers are entirely faithful.
Who the fuck believes this shit?
Sold 1,262 of their 9,000
Oh my god.
tokens, bringing in an impressive
Why?
$375,000. But as nice as that number is, it's not remotely enough to even start proceeding on their plan to build a full-scale PvP-based MMO. Following the failed mint in October, the devs slowly went quiet, and then bit by bit, websites, social media accounts, and eventually the Discord itself all disappeared. Based off the ostensible product, why should one of these succeed and the other fail? The key distinction ultimately between a Party Ape Billionaire Club and a crypto...
Where am I? Okay, I'm an hour in. Jesus Christ. Let's watch something else in the meantime. Let's watch something funny. Let's watch something just to get my mind off of it for a bit. A little bit too much crypto. A little too much crypto talk. Too much crypto talk, not fun. Let's go. Press enter. Is this one? Whew. Jesus Christ. Crypto stuff is interesting, but damn does it get on my nerves. Or it just becomes like this big conglomerate of just crypto is it's everything and nothing. It is very confusing and very fucking annoying. But like at the same time, it is an interesting thing to look into. And I find that if all the groundwork that's being laid now in that video will pay off eventually. Like I imagine the second half is mainly going to be talking about how about how rigged it is and stuff like that in a more whatever style. But in the meantime, let's reward with a little bit of ink.
Rising Revengeance is not a word in the dictionary. It's also one of my favorite games, besides Genshin Impact. Created as a spin-off to the critically acclaimed Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Pirates. We are
Guns of the Pirates.
Resume involves fighting the Illuminati and a bisexual vampire, trading off slow stealth gameplay and conference calls of an unspecified duration.
I cannot look away.
Action gameplay,
God damn it.
cutting mechanics, and the stupidest plot of any game since the last one. You know, the one where Headache Kajingles puts his protagonist in a microwave. Now caught in a worldwide conspiracy headed by an evil and destructive empire.
Raiden.
The United States. It's up to us to stop Senator Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson from becoming black, fight cyborg dinosaurs controlled by orphans, and fight a series of extremely online YouTube personas 4, such as Jack.
Oh, this gets a like.
Nintendo Virtual Boy and Markiplier.
I'm gonna come find you.
set to the tune of a hardcore rock soundtrack made by the world-famous Toontown Online composer for the express purpose of killing anyone above 40. And to complete our journey, we will have to resort to unrestricted...
God damn, this is some main screen content.
In between philosophy about the nature of conflict, the morality of separating families the hard way, and memes. They made
memes.
plot points. So if any of that interests you, feel free to join me as we dive headlong into the wonderful madness of Metal Gear Rising: Revan Gears, and the voices now activated.
I'm gonna add this to the description. Song's good, man. Oh, maybe I should play some Revenges, not gonna lie.
We boot up the game, but it doesn't support high resolutions. To fix this, we head to NeoGAF and download a virus. Now I can do any resolution.
Wait, is that true? Shit.
Our story begins in the 2000
I didn't know that.
scheme with our hero Raiden
What?
protecting President Barfsacco Crumbo. He's touring his birthplace of Kenya.
I am President United States Obama.
Mr. President, you have dementia.
Drone strike the wedding.
That can be arranged.
What the fuck was that? Insurance fraud. Why, hello there. Would you care to see my RGB lighting? I spent $3,000. Sir, this is a Wendy's. Oh. I'll just have to give you a demonstration then. Oh shit, he's got RGBs. Let's get the fuck out. I guess you could say he's half the man he once was.
My name is Obama. I have shit my doo-doo ass.
Don't worry, Obama. I'll protect you from the sidewalk. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like
Cursed.
to introduce you to the first enemy in the game. Now he's the first 100 enemies in the game. This is the standout feature of Metal Gear Rising. The
Yes.
ability to cut anything, and I do mean anything. Nature, humans, telepathic traffic poles, a family of 4, and even staircases that are required to progress the game. I think that's an oversight. This was groundbreaking stuff for the PS3. Use it to hit weak points, confuse your enemies and prevent them from attacking, or accelerate deforestation. What are you doing, Raiden? Most animals deserve to be extinct. Where the fuck is Raiden? Hang on, I think I'm hearing boss music.
No, I have Revengeance, by the way. I just haven't played it in like
Game crashed.
years. But
Everyone.
should I do a Revengeance stream? It will be just be memes the entire time. Not gonna lie.
Specialist.
Oh.
New customer. Let's hope Obamacare covers euthanasia.
God damn.
Obama, shut up.
Oof. Getting killed. No.
Stop right there. Put down President Bumcrack Osama.
I'll put him down, all right. But no, I have a giant robot. Federal agent spotted initiating.
Why didn't I see that? Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to the tutorial boss. We're currently undergoing a learning experience, the one you can only get with a giant laser. This is maybe the best game ever made. And although the gameplay is a little simple, the sheer scale makes me feel both empowered and quite intimidated.
And the music's just fucking great in this game. Oh.
Cracked up rooster. Of course, there's no need to worry, because Raiden is fucking jacked.
Pearls of Nature! Yeah!
Mission accomplished. So Raiden runs all the way to a locomotive to confront Dimes for Crimes, led by none other than Buff Bezos.
Mitch McConnell, please transfer. Why do our politicians hog all the good missiles?
Obama!
Your prime has expired, Raiden, and so has his life.
No!
Time for the next boss fight. I say that sarcastically because most people would classify it as a fucking suicide. I'm surprised this is on the train instead of in front of it. You need to hold a sword. What the fuck is a sword? I could give you a demonstration, but first, what's your favorite hand? Well, my left.
Oof.
I'm about to level up, Jack, and you look like just enough XP. Oh fuck, he's using bullets.
Need a hand, Raiden. Also, who am I?
Bitch. So at least 2 minutes pass, and Raiden is traversing the vacuum of space on his way to the Colonel, I'm trying to fly around, but the clap of my ass cheeks keeps alerting. Raiden, I'm playing Genshin Impact, but I've run out of credit card debt to purchase Ganyu. So
This is just memes every half a second.
Stop collecting them.
You have a problem.
So after the roughest plane ride since Delta, we head to a third world shithole known as Russia to find the men who killed President Bumsacco Chungus and put an end to their illegal razor blade factory. Wait a second, where's the runway? Finally equipped with his new customizable gamer mouse body, Raiden begins
True.
by encountering the
It's like a
victims, knocking them to the air and scooping out their
online, not enough RGB.
You see, this is actually our primary method of healing, since every spine is filled to the brim with delicious electrolytes. This is the actual term used in the game. Just like American football, the soldiers of the future are fueled by Gatorade. We, however, are fueled by violence. Oh, hang on one
We
second.
are
I got a
fueled
call.
by violence.
So anyways, we head to the streets to get acquainted with the stuff, but unfortunately for the populace, it's completely optional. So instead, we decide to fight the foot fetish tank. And let me tell you, this enemy is real fun to kill, especially considering their fucking jump speed. Man, there really is no time between these cutscenes.
Oh, fuck. Known sex offender spotted.
What in the abnormally ass?
What the dog doing now? What the fuck is a dog?
You are such a fucking Philistine, Raiden.
Wait, how do you know my name?
I am pre-programmed with knowledge of everyone.
Oh yeah?
Yes.
Who's your owner then, little dog?
The NSA, but my handler is a white woman.
Damn, that's rough.
I will never eat peanut butter ever again.
For our next battle, we have Blade Wolf. Jesus. And let me say, if you don't know how to parry more than one attack, it's time to learn. I don't know what attack this is. Fortunately, Blade Wolf will stop yiffing and call in Meals on Wheels, which allows us to partake of the Gatorade Eucharist. Now with the power of Jesus in our veins, we donate Blade Wolf to a kill shelter,
Yes.
and then he monologues.
You're gonna stay on my dick until you die.
Somehow. The Bitcoin factory.
I've been moderating your tweets for months.
Oh, God.
You never told me you had a boyfriend.
Who are you?
Oh my god, she spoke to me.
Jesus fucking Christ. Raiden, watch out. That woman is live on Twitter. Now sufficiently disturbed, Raiden moves on to...
I have 16 hours. Last time I played Revengeance is in 2015. So literally 7 years ago is the last time I played Revengeance. Holy shit. Ugh. It'll be fun though. Dum.
Oh my god, it's a woman. Please
It's just the fucking FNAF sounds every time.
29 for the donation.
Please stay back.
Sorry, Jack, but my stream demands you die.
God, I wish that was me.
That can be arranged.
Welcome to the world's first boss fight, where the battle is against your own controller. Provided, of course, that I can throw that shit against a wall. In this confrontation, we fight the dark-skinned tomboy GF that I've always dreamed of, juggling and slaughtering several varieties.
True,
of
it is a big sad.
Bakugan. Especially after Raiden achieves the miracle of flight when you fire the animators. But despite some of the occasional frustration, this battle is one of the best. Plus, I like it when women hit me.
Like it when women hit me. Dancing Pepes, let's go.
Yeah, that's some cool theme music, bitch.
Your purpose in life is to be in my stream sucking on my dick daily.
I see.
It's gonna line. You are truly weird, champ.
Is that a bad thing?
You make me want to kill myself faster, but no matter. With my death, you will never find our secret base at 29th Avenue, Mexico City.
What the fuck?
These are the coordinates.
What? What's happening?
Damn, I'm turned on.
Oh god.
I'm in a Chinese factory, now equipped with a sword for his Metal Gear Rising Revengeance 2013 video game. It's up to Sonic the Hedgehog to make his way to the city of Mexico, complete with his 50 pounds of smuggled cocaine and a stolen machine. Are you wearing a sombrero? It's my disguise. I'm trying to...
It's my disguise.
I'm trying to give you a fucking brain aneurysm.
Your destination is on the right.
Holy shit. How many memes?
Now it's time for Raiden and his small pit bull to make their descent into Fallout 3. Hey, what's up gamers? Maxor here, and today we're gonna be questioning why Blade Wolf is packing an entire bakery. Better keep playing the game to bleach my eyes.
Monkey time, let's go.
What's up gamers? It's Maxor here. And today we are being beaten to death by a gorilla.
These enemies weren't that bad. I don't know. I gotta shut up because I don't know how good I was at this game.
Than a giant robot. Raiden opens him up like a Pokemon fan after ripping out his organs. Thank God that's the only enemy. Otherwise I'd have problems. Oh my God, it's a Smash tournament. I have to stop it.
It's a Smash.
New enemies. I was just about to run out of those. Okay, but seriously, this enemy doesn't want to hit me. It's all right. I don't have a Twitter account.
You speak English?
What the fuck is he saying? Can you repeat that? Listen, I don't know what a McDonald's does. After abandoning a child to his death,
After abandoning a child.
The rest of the level, Raiden equips a cardboard box once used in a
Yes.
famous, well-known video game series called Smash Brothers.
That's Wario, Snake. He also attacks by farting.
Now you two can remain undiscovered in any public park. Oh fuck.
30 apes.
Let's just move on. Now
Pretty much you get
the
smashed by
we're finally free to
NFT
explore
bros be like.
space entirely without suspicion. For 2 minutes. In that time, it's up to Raiden to escort an entire congregation to meet God. Stealth is of course optional, but so is my mercy. Now heading to the confessional, Raiden finds something that he was never supposed to see.
Oh yeah, this scene's actually kind of spooky, man. This is fucked up.
I'm gonna leave this game for a while, play some good old Gary's mod. We get a call from Boris Johnson, and he tells us that the baddies are keeping the brains of children in Futurama jars, piloting the various zoo exhibits we fought on our journey. And to figure out why, we sneak in using a wasted game mode. This lasts an entire minute if you don't walk past everyone. Using some proprietary software, we assume the role of the US government and spy on the bad guys' webcams. Before selling them crack, their evil and dastardly plan is to restart the war economy by fueling conflict in Syria and Donbass, then making a gigantic profit by selling weaponized Baby Shark to the military. But instead of selling a Boston Dynamics dog like normal people, they figured the best way to create a robot army was to consult Mr. Epstein. So with our next target idea, to find the giant robot, and if this boy has anything to say,
Oh, this is cursed.
for a fun boss fight, Raiden endures 8 hours of being stunned before playing his reverse Uno card and trapping it in a corner for 2 minutes, dicing up his armor and clapping him faster than that family on the highway in my Ford Mustang. Don't worry, he's a basic enemy in the next mission. Oh my God, I can't possibly cut through glass. Stop right there, Raiden, or I'll blow this child. Who is that? His head. I'll blow his head open. Wait, are you for real? I don't have time for this conversation. Children are in danger. Do you know what a gun does? What's a gun?
What's a gun?
So at least 9 seconds happen and Ride Inside is driving to hell, all the while taking his eyes off the road with some CNN. Oh sweet, my programming is on. You know, America isn't so bad after all. After being in Mexico for so long, I'm starting to miss how peaceful it can be, especially the police.
Oof.
Raiden evades the evil forces of big sobriety as they attempt to suppress another innocent drunk driver, careening through the nightmare known as Denver before encountering the police budget. And showing off his toned legs.
Wait a second, boys. He's white.
I'm sorry, officer. I was just so busy playing League of Legends.
All right, I've heard enough. Deadly force authorized.
Oh, fuck. We are now forced to fight the hypothetical dystopian scenario where the government and police are influenced by corporations. Specifically, the corporation that we've come to volunteer for blood donations. Although, Joe Raiden seems to be fighting their army of interns because most of them use a stick. Besides, of course, the military-grade Roombas. Raiden heads into the office through the organs of an officer and inside the biggest elevator ever made. We take it down the hard way. Also, they forgot to limit my turn speed. There's even a subway section with this cool new enemy that I've never seen before. I don't think anything
Monkey
can
Man.
ruin this. What's up, gamers? God damn it. Let me tell you something important, Raiden. You're a normie and a beta male cuck. I'm only here to dispense justice. That's cringe, Jack, and you're
That's cringe, Jack.
You can't even project yourself onto a building or a billboard. Your clout doesn't mean anything. It's worthless. Cope and seethe, Jack. Why don't you go back to Facebook and post some minion memes? No, that's not the point. Do you see now? All this murder and you still aren't based. You bastard. Shut the fuck up and listen for a moment. Oh my God, it's the cringe Nene baby. Stop right there. What the fuck is wrong with his hair? What are you doing? He looks like Sonic impregnated a vending machine. No, stop it. He even has a fake chin.
Bong.
Do you see now, Jack? How can a cringe lord like you ever hope to kill my police officer?
You're gonna be talking about the
fuck? So after chopping the authorities so fast that their bodies are steaming, Raiden gains a brain hemorrhage from watching my editing, which affects his
watching my editing.
Now emotionally compromised, we head through the mandatory stealth section.
Oof.
You know, eventually. How pleased you are to chop away, Jack the Ripper. You could say that I'm a big fan of what? My of the sussy imposters.
No.
Emergency meeting. Please stop. No.
Oh yeah, you can't cut that champ, right?
Genuinely wrong with you. It's just a little trolling, Jack. You're in the land of the free after all. And your idea of freedom is enslaving children. Do you know what the Civil War was? It's cringe or be cringe, Jack. Soon you'll understand.
Cringe or be
Free
cringe.
will is a myth. Religion is a joke. We're all pawns controlled by something greater. Memes, the DNA of the soul. They are our culture, our clout. How about full shit? Is
Metal
that
Gear
me?
was
What fucking isn't you, amoeba? You'll never be based with memes like that.
Metal Gear was the original being based.
About me, I mean. What? I thought I could be just like you, but that is a mistake. Perhaps I am cringe, but that makes me free. That's sus. Door, turn off my cringe inhibitors. But Raiden, you'll lose subscribers.
You'll lose subscribers.
I was fucking joking.
True.
Why did you do it? You think you can just log off, Jack? I'm starting to see what you're getting at. And if based means what I think it means, then caring about your shitty posts is a long way off. That's rich coming from the likes of you. Family Guy funny moment. In this boss fight against the Monsus battle bus, Raiden rages against the moral degeneracy of violence in movies and sex on TV, using his good old-fashioned values upon which he used to rely. During which we are subjected to an onslaught of attacks at average speed for a Cheetah, demanding the absolute most of the player to survive the human spaghetti. So if you thought Blade Wolf was a real fun boss to parry, then I've got news for you. We've got more edge in this fight than Bloodborne on the PlayStation 1. Monsoon can fucking teleport. He throws helicopters for fun, and his preferred method of dodging is self-bisection. He knows he's 3 edges away from being a Sonic OC, and you know what? I fucking dig it.
I forgot about the music, man. Like remember these were all like in my playlist and shit. You get some weird sights when you like start jamming out to this music and stuff like that.
Thank you. I spent 4 days editing that. Now excuse me as I take this call. The memes. You are decapitated. Don't worry, it's just a little trolling, right? Do not repost my memes back at me. Oh, I wouldn't worry about that, because your memes end here.
Yeah! Oh, right. I stuck on the thing. Holy shit. What in the unholy ass was that? Like, the editing. Jesus Christ. Not, yeah, like, what kind of... Every half second there was an edit. Jesus Christ. Makes it great for rewatches, but still, like, fuck me. That's, you can upload the video, they're having a seizure. True, though. True. That is the way it is. That is the way this video is. This content really replaces this arm with a cybernetic one. Lol. True. Jesus Christ. What is he gonna do for Nanomachine, son? Not gonna lie. Oh my god. That 20 minutes was a tirade. This part 2 is even more crazy. Okay. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna watch part 2. And then I'm gonna have to finish the crypto video. Because I do want to finish the crypto video just to be able to have seen it. And then in that time, more than likely, I will be able to finish this pngtuber. Because I finally have an idea for it. So the idea is going to be this, right? So it's the head. Then it's like the shadowy, from a more shadowy perspective, it's like the claws around it. And the teeth. And then I'll just draw a little mouth on the face that opens when it talks. and then that will be it. So then it'll be somewhat Lovecraftian in the sense that like it's not 100. It won't 100% be a creature that makes sense, you know, like it's not gonna be a like little yordle with like a bat body, like a little body, little arms, little legs. No, it's just gonna be like a head, and then a whole bunch of like crazy tendrils and teeth and claws and stuff like that in the background, because that is totally edgy, and I like it. So therefore, that's what that will be. So yeah, let's go watch it. Part 2. Oh my god. He has an incorrect summary of the DMC5. Oh my god. Oh, we have a new channel we're gonna watch. God damn it.
Metal Gear.
I should do a stream for Metal Gear Revengeance, I think. That could be fun. 7 years of not having played it, so like my mechanics are dead on that game. And I still vaguely know what the story is about, you know, nanomachines and all that shit.
Rising, Sons of Delivery and DiGiorno is my favorite political and economic simulator, well intended to teach the player the basics of price slashing and how to best divide the country as quickly as possible. The answer, of course, is manually. In this visually engaging stock market index, we play as Jack the Wood Chipper, a man, probably, on a quest to renew the job market one life at a time. So if you've seen part 1 of my philosophically charged video essay on the deep and interesting Metal Gear lore, which I totally understand, then welcome.
Which I totally understand. LOL.
That's technically okay. You're just gonna be more confused than an American at a salad bar.
Play with a controller. Yeah, no, I played it with a controller. Yeesh.
Last time on Metal Gear Raisin, Guns of the Priests. But as for now, our protagonist, Raiden with Biden, is forced to argue with Biden about memes. That's not made up. The rest is made up, but that's genuine. Apple-bottom jeans, Raiden. What? Boots with the fur. Fresh off his adventures to the Orange Dimension and the insides of American police, it's up to our hero to avenge Obama's death, the slaughter of the unmerited, learning the true meaning of based through many trials, tribulations, and his guest seat at the Joe Rogan podcast, finally finding himself at the entrance to Amazon warehouses with manageable stab wounds. Ugh, damn it, I need a token black person. What the fuck? Key and Peele, this blood loss has made me delirious. Tell me a story. There once was a silent Holy shit. Raiden heads into the hotel lobby, hosted by Mr. Mosby. After which, the game sends the ATF to stop me from freeing the Second Amendment. I am forced to take matters into my own hands. This was back when turret sections were the pinnacle of game design. Excuse me, fellas, I'm just heading to this normal-sized elevator. Raiden, I'm playing another gacha game, okay? Please destroy all records of my credit card debt before the police come. Welcome, one and holocaust, to a classic currently undergoing a secret mission to destroy Scandalous Snake. Raiden, we have to prevent Joe Biden's America. You have to stop. You're too late, Corn Pop. I have already vocoded your voice to Gangster's Paradise. Carefully locate the bank records and also the rocket launcher. This puzzle is a great way to simulate the real office experience.
The real office experience.
So after exploring the records of Overwatch 2, Raiden runs through fucking Black Friday. This makes Vietnam look like Clown College. We even have
like Clown College. Yo, this is...
As you can see, the situation has escalated.
I'm coming.
What is up, gamers? Maxor here, and today we're gonna be entering the what the fuck? So it turns out that Bezos is a real big fan of Japanese culture, like a really big fan of Japanese culture, to the extent that he filled this building with ninjas. Don't worry, they still use rockets. The decor is so goddamn oriental, it's killing dolphins. Raiden traverses the Hidden Leaf Village with the DK crew.
Yeah, Monkey Man.
First elevator built and designed with elephants in mind, or just your mom. On which we fight a gauntlet of enemies for several minutes as I reenact my trips to the Humane Society. You will never catch me, nor will you find the weapon. How tall is this fucking building? This is half of the level. So we get off of Mr. Bones' wild ride, which allows us to booze and cruise all the way to the moon, apparently. What is that music I'm hearing? Oh,
let's go.
I can't wait to see what the game has in store for me now after all those long combat arena. So I want everyone to meet my cool and original boss design. That's essentially what the Patriots were doing the entire time.
True.
AI Dennis Prager was merely a distraction. These fuckers were synthesizing VTubers. So now we're forced to fight their robotic fleshlight and her huge testicles. This battle serves as a great moment to see just how far you've come as a player.
Yeah, I totally forgot about this section. What the fuck? I'll forget about it again. But like, you refight every boss, right?
Thank God that shit's over. Now we can move on. God damn it. Really bold move making me fight Monsoon again after 20 minutes.
True.
Fucking Skeletron Prime looking ass.
I guess you could say a good meme never dies, Jack.
God, please take me out of this hell. I've had enough memes today. Look, it's Shadow and he's a nice cock. Pretend you didn't see anything today.
Well, if it ain't the feds.
Unhand these brains, Jeff. They're children.
And kids are cruel, Jack. They just lose touch with it at the ripe old age of 12.
Wait, what?
War crime this, can't eat the drywall that. Microwaving mice is wrong, they say.
What the fuck?
Not to worry. Kids love video games. That's why I got them all set up, spinning the wheel on my favorite gacha games.
League of Legends.
How else is a man supposed to make his impact?
You refrigerated a preschool for fucking JPEGs.
You think I made the market for Ganyu, Jack? Like every casino's just a big old conspiracy? Bullshit. Gambling's just a part of who we are. I just market it to sexy children. Besides, demand for my products is about to skyrocket. Like the good old days after 9/11.
Wait a minute. 9/11 is bad.
Speak for yourself. Let's debate this on the roof. I hope this is like taken out of context. Looks like you're a gacha player at heart.
Is that because of my brain damage?
No, it's because you go after children, and there ain't enough room in this preschool for the two of us. Now activating hooded deflectors. Like I said, kids are cruel, Jack, and I love minors.
Welcome to the Bastard, featuring his tax shield.
Oh god.
Comprised of two distinct phases, each one easier than the last. And for some reason, a helicopter. Go-Go Gadget Concealed Carry. In his first phase, we simulate beating to death a cheeky goblin using money to compensate for his lack of human empathy. And by the second phase, it's quite obvious why he does it. This means it's up to us to cut each shield individually so we can...
Yeah.
And yes, you explode when you miss. Not only this, but his health is the length of a Cambodian life in 1977, meaning once you get past that, the fight is basically over. In fact, it's quite easy to just not get past his shields ever and straight up kill him the fungular entertainment way, featuring
fungular entertainment.
Big Bong sorority.
Bazinga, let's go.
If you do this, you're basically annihilating all enjoyment from orbit. I personally recommend standing there and just waiting for Jeff to present. So enjoy that second phase while you can, because this music is a gift from God. This is as bad shit as it looks. Can you tell that's my favorite song? I upgrade Raiden's item as we board a helicopter being driven by Doctor. How did you get an aircraft? Oh, credit card debt, of course.
Credit card debt, let's go.
That bank you sent to the past tense. It was like carving a pumpkin. Well, I think you missed one. I can't go to prison, Raiden. Why? Because you play Genshin? No, Raiden, I'm a Nazi. Well, time to kill myself. What the fuck are you talking about? There's so much Hearts of Iron to play. I'm gonna not see you in a second. Not today, I guess. So, Doctor tries to kill Raiden anyways, and he responds by dividing the public. The hard way. So Raiden hits his head so badly that he lands in a different game. The volume is a little bit you know, it's just slightly
what?
It's kind of loud. The graphics are a little different. Raiden heads to the gas station and uses the Zandatsu to cut through the environment dynamically. Yeah, that seems like how it works. This isn't even Metal Gear Rising anymore. I'm just playing Roblox games. Raiden survives the impact of a sedan when I was a child and gets utterly destroyed in Denver again, just like me on a Saturday night, and is forced to play a previous level but backwards. Thank you, level designer. Oh shit, a free bike. Don't worry, it's a rental. There are rumors that the Nords are attempting to capture the whole of Solstheim. Anyone looking for work should consider the Fighters Guild. I hear they're always looking for new recruits. Raiden, you ran over a child 9 miles back. What are you going to do? Good day.
Good day.
Oh, so now you decide to stop. I'm running late. Oh, don't worry, Raiden. The clown college is closer than you think. Yeah, it's right in front of me. Kill yourself. Your ass will always be cringe, and my ass will always be thick. 497 North Parker Drive. Oh, good. You're getting more based by the day. But I live with my mother. Is this her house?
Yeah!
Two equally matched swordsmen of various speeds. It's up to us to defeat the weakest Brazilian male. This guy's out here making the rainforest look like a fucking joke. And the best part is, there's no bullshit in this fight. No minions, no shields, no monsoon telling me about fucking Among Us. It's just you, the sunset, and the soil. This is the best boss ever, holy shit. Raiden disarms Wham Slam Bam Sam, which causes him to lose his McFucking marbles, and this somehow makes the fight harder. I mean, he straight up punches you like he's in goddamn Yakuza. Hey Raiden, look at this cool bug I found. Oh Raiden, no need to flip out. Dude's got thunder thighs bigger than the power grid. Sam will test every single neuron in your corpus callosum with unrelenting and dangerous attacks, strong enough to burn a hole in my Adderall supply. It's not a drug problem, it's a drug solution. And that is just phase 1. God help you when he picks up that sword again. I don't have a choice. I challenge you to a debate. What the fuck? So Raiden goes to
I challenge you to a debate.
Only to realize that he has no cybernetic enhancement. This man dunked on Raiden harder than Kobe after he threw an AVA unit, and he did it by juicing. Raiden steals his Clifford the Big Red Sword with a 5-star gotcha rarity and 33% crit rate. Raiden, you have a motorcycle. Why are you sprinting there?
Why don't we just relax and turn on the radio? Would you like ham?
Oh, yes. Yes, that's good. Damn, dog, give me some of that. Raiden McFucking breaks into NASA so he can go somewhere
Raiden
quickly.
McFucking breaks into
George
NASA.
Bush has made a horse race across America. That way, he can assemble all of the votes and activate the guns of the Patriot Act. But to understand what that means, we have to head to a previous game. It's Metal Gear Solid 4 again, and the clip the only thing standing in their way is the unsolid Snake, because he's old. David, I want you to meet someone very important to me. His name is Joe Biden. I have kept him alive using the miracle of child sacrifice.
We choose truth over facts.
And I'm gonna choose death over life. Wow, that sure made everything easy to understand. Oh my god, it's my dad. Oh fuck up, I've returned with a puppy. Yeah, anyways, do you know where Daddy can buy some cigarettes? Last time he got those, you disappeared for 10 years. I know. So have you ever heard of NFT trading?
No!
What is that? Monkey. Can you feed the monkey? Nah, but you can sell it for a rocket or some shit. That's great, honey.
You can sell it for a rocket. True. NFTs in this sec.
Our goal is to reach the utopia.
Wait, you do this in this game?
Evil empire of America from initiating yet another military incursion called Operation Tecumseh. Finally, I have tracked down the great Satan to his source. Now this cliff will make me a martyr. Fuck. Jock Al-Radin goes to the base so as to convince the Boot Boys the error of their ways and appear on Indian news networks to justify nuclear conflict.
Holy god.
Have you heard of the hit game
Among Us?
You need to vent, Raiden. I know it'll be hard to be sus.
You might notice something funny about this level. It's 3 rooms. The developers fucking gave up, so do I. Raiden plays the real game until he finds the cast of icons. Our whole universe was in a hot, dense state when nearly 14 million years ago, Raiden discovers his dog after being made into a Family Guy episode. No, I wanted to feed you that chocolate. Before a gigantic McFucking crab evolves from the goddamn soil like a 1,000-year-old cicada.
That boss. Its music is fucking awesome.
Well, if it isn't Sussy Jack.
Bro, are you high?
Let me check. Yes. High on American spirit. And there's nothing more American.
And there's nothing more American.
Man in this Walmart of a world.
What is Walmart?
It's heaven, Raiden. Check the internet lately.
Raiden, hop on Twitter. You need to see.
I saw this on fucking TikTok.
And being distracted with other nonsense.
These baboons don't even know they're at war with.
This one's calling me a Redditor.
And that's just the beginning. E-girls, gotcha, memes, all just petty distractions. So real.
No, is this what that's from?
Amogus.
Amogus.
Journalism is absolutely justified because we had a black president once. Before I fucking killed him.
That's a nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the in a world wide and free of cancel culture. No one can call me out for my outlandish claims. A world where I can say the N-word.
What?
No. Catch it. I've got my own to debate online.
Preparing to harass minorities online.
Microsoft Excel. We are faced with a boss too large to be fun and are relegated to enduring his onslaught from the inside of the Forever Box. This battle is a classic case of wait for him to do anything, just like Congress. And like Congress, it usually hurts you. Fortunately, this music is excellent and fits one-to-one with All I Want for Christmas.
Yeah!
Although for some reason Raiden can parry several tons of crush force. My sister could have done that against my stepdad. Raiden suplexes the giant lobster for the second time today. Then he yanks off his arm to have a sword fight with it. Every other game is now worse because they don't have this.
True.
Get out, Raiden. I just got vaccinated.
Oh god, he's
Mexico
Hit
theme.
the gym.
I'm gonna hit the gym.
I don't know, Jack. Maybe your face could use some work. Hope you can afford healthcare, Raiden, because the taxpayer can't.
It's funny because thousands of people die.
Don't fuck with this, Senator.
That's just a real in-game dialogue.
What? Snap into a Slim Jim.
Typical politician. All cock, but no cum.
What?
Land of opportunity.
What?
American dream. It's all bullshit. The success of a nation is determined by materialistic and socioeconomic factors. Read a fucking book.
The truth, then.
The truth, then.
Politicians aren't so trustworthy. We'll steal, make shit up, even lie to our voters.
That's crazy.
I know it's very hard to believe, but that's just what the USA is all about, Jack. Not hiding our theft and murder, but embracing it. Whether it's votes, whether it's money, especially money. Fuck all these VTubers and shit. Fuck this 24/7 internet spew of Discord and VTuber bullshit. I'm gonna build a new future, Jack. One where we won't have to hide our steel.
The voices is so good, though.
I want you by my side to build a world truly free from the consequences of our actions, just like the founding fathers intended. What do you say, Raiden? Why not try to say it? Just once.
I was wrong about you, Senator. You're not cringe. You're just fucking racist.
What the fuck was that? God damn it! You're making the mother of all omelets here, Jack. Can't fret over every egg.
I'm sorry, Senator, but this is my Metal Gear Rising revengeance.
No! Yeah! Where's the music? Come on. History.
What?
Right from wrong.
My blood is red, white, and blue, Jack. I wonder what color yours is.
Wait. Raiden. Brian Griffin. You can't think about every mentally deranged moron you've fought up until this point. You've always had the strength to overcome.
Whether it was violence in movies or sex on TV, I was always lucky there was a family guy. Even if your IQ was the room temperature of Alaska.
You are the best Chia pet ever made.
Sam put a fucking speaker in his sword.
That's right. I finally uploaded my consciousness into my gaming setup. Raiden, the reason you're cringe is not because you ain't skilled, but because you ain't ballin' on that stank-ass Windows 95 pewter.
Even in death, he's on crack.
Just this once, I'll lend you my setup so you can know what it's like to be
A real gamer.
You're my little dog champ.
I've always said my sword was a tool of justice. Not a weapon, but a way to bring back those good old-fashioned values upon which we used to rely. But this isn't my sword. It's a fucking mistake. Hey, what's up guys, Maxor here. Welcome to the final boss. You know, he can be this guy's a little...
Oh, I hate this boss battle, by the way. He is... No, he is...
Intensive cutscenes to finally teach America that violence is never a solution. It's a question, and the answer is yes.
And he beats your ass hard.
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's immense strength and talent for volcanic...
I think I played it hardcore back in the day. I got my ass handed to me by this guy.
Channeling the power of both races to whoop your ass back to Roblox. But among his many racial talents, our buff buzzard is fast, has a great singing voice, and possesses forklift certification. When you die,
No.
you will be in accordance with OSHA regulations. But after spending enough time in the oven, our athletic aesthetic disarms Raiden and reports to his chiropractor for an adjustment. This guy beats up more biracial people than a police officer. Armstrong even has the power to receive the light of Allah, which bestows upon him miraculous healing wisdom. Needless to say, this fight is fantastic. Combining and expanding on every skill we've acquired on our long and arduous journey for a final battle that truly tests our mettle. This isn't even the first time Raiden has stabbed a politician to death, but if I get my way, it won't be the fucking last.
So sad they never made a sequel to this game. Holy shit.
I'm starting to have a change of heart.
Yeah, I can tell.
That's why you're the best, Jack. You always wore my heart on your sleeve.
If I hear another goddamn pun.
If you kill me, Jack, you'll finally be free. Free to follow your heart.
Okay, that's it, buddy. And in other news, a United States senator tragically passed away this morning after a botched open heart surgery. Honey, can we please stop watching obituaries? You'll be on there next if you don't shut the fuck up. Oh shit, my BlackBerry. Good news, Jonathan. We've got a new job opening for you. Ah, that's great, Doc. Yeah, anyways, it's for a ninja cyborg. Ninja cyborg? Doesn't Raiden do that? Oh yes, Raiden. Well, the police might be after him for that vehicular manslaughter. Manslaughter, Doctor? I did that shit on purpose.
That was a, holy shit. How to summarize something in 40 minutes by just being absolutely crackpot. His attack is canonical. I predicted the future again. Lol. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, holy crap. That was a intense fucking watch. Not gonna lie. You're not cringe, you're just fucking racist. Oh god. Even in death he's on crack. Oh, Among Us. Among Us. Fucking A. Oh, not gonna lie, this is really, really fucking well done. Holy shit. Holy shit. Just the amount of, yeah, just the that is would you even call that? It's not even like next level tier editing. That's just like god tier editing. Like, it's such good editing. I don't even want to do it. It's like, nah, bro. Like, yeah, you have fun with that. Like fuck off. I'm not editing that shit. I wouldn't even want to do it. That's how like good the editing was on that video. Holy shit. Really, really well done. And really fun to watch as well. Like not only like just well done, it's also really fun to watch, you know, which is probably the hardest part. Have it like that. Think of adding more eyes down here, but like I'm just gonna add this chest piece thing. Add to that a clip plate. Yeah. Comments is legit the best motivation to do it. No, because how would I say it? Like, okay, doing content like that is really exhausting, excruciating, right? But I do believe that if you make something really good like that, like that the feedback for it must be positive as well, because people do tend to appreciate someone putting in all the effort to make something like that, right? It doesn't just fall on deaf ears like a whole bunch of, you know, how animation content falls on deaf ears, kind of, and stuff like that. Because at least this is somewhat liked by people. I want to do a thing to the layer, but I don't know where I had where the effects correction. No. It changed the line. Where's the fucking... What is it? Is this a layer? Correction layer. There we go. But no, that was flipping amazing. How does Reddit work, actually? Because I'm not gonna lie, that's the one site I just do not understand, and I because of that I just kind of stay away from it because they scare me. The way that site works, like it's the one site where I actually don't ever really show my face because I just don't understand it. Because I know it's like I know they're not a fan of self-promo, but then again, it's like, oh, what the hell are you going to use the site for? Is it like then hanging out? Is it only once you're part of the community you can kind of chill out, I'd say? Which I understand. Like, I understand they don't want just everyone posting their goddamn shit, which makes sense, but at the same time, how does that work? The site is literally for promo. Even over channels like no. Oh shit. You've been... What? Streamlabs has kicked you out, but why? What the hell? Streamlabs just kicked you out for 60 seconds, but why? Stream Elements, I mean. Streamlabs. Why? So mean. Boo. Okay, maybe I do have to set that that thing to maybe I have to set that thing to be a little less aggressive. Holy crap. That one time caps and like it literally just this is just... Streamlabs was like, nah, I'm not having any of that shit. Welcome, by the way. Oh, I'm tired and this thing's not really working. This layer's not working at all. Tried a bit differently. I think T-Mike got famous, bro. He posted it on Reddit Overwatch. Yeah, it's not just that he made the footage. Is it that literally just posting your shit on? Well, actually, that doesn't make sense. The only other way I thought nowadays is to do it via like just make cool stuff and then that gets featured on like TikToks or whatever, and then you use that to engage more people. But that would be the way to do it. Imagine. Oh my God! Why is it being? Try to ban me. I dare you stream. It's Stream Elements that's banning, by the way. And thank God I already changed the thing to 60 seconds because it used to be 6 minutes. So, but I'm gonna have to make it so it's less aggressive because it is being an awful dickhead today for some reason. So, like, let's fight the ban chatter. It just kicks you out. I think that's because it was set to like not tolerate too much spam. Although lately I've not been plagued by the stupid like bots anymore, so I guess it's sort of helping. I don't know if it's actually like stopping that though. So maybe it's not even helping that much. Odd. No. Add another one on top. I'm gonna add a bit of this. I'm gonna fade that in. Make it part of these teeth looking things. Stream Live just kicked you out. It feels bad. It feels real bad. Among Us, Gregory. Looks like absolute dog shit, but to solve that, I'm just gonna fade in the side parts so that those are part of the underlying goo. Post has value and not just go to my channel. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. That's also part of the difficulty, right? To not just make it like a sheer advertisement, but then it also has to like, I suppose if you're part of like a fandom or whatever, then it's easier because then you know that it's part of that community. So the secret to YouTube is Reddit. Then that's interesting, in the very least, because it is an avenue I've not explored at all, because it's just Reddit is okay. So this has always been Reddit to me, right? Reddit has been this weird site for nerds that I never wanted to explore because just the way of engagement there always confused me. And that is pretty much my opinion on Reddit. It was never intentional. It was just always confusing as fuck. That's all I thought of Reddit usually. Let's go. Not gonna lie, might not put this in there. Maybe that doesn't even need. Does that even make any sense, or is it better just to have this and then add? Make these be blurred into. Oh. Yeah, and I know the blur brush is not one that you're supposed to use too much, but I just like the way this looks for now. Because of the simplicity of it. So I'm just going to do this and add a bit of texture back in afterwards. Mind you, I haven't actually drawn regularly in a while. So after some more up sketches, I think this is going to approximately be the new VTuber avatar, PNG YouTuber avatar I'm going to be using for a while. This little guy. Then I make the teeth even more hidden. So it's a design detail, but it's not that necessary. And then all I need is a little mouth all the way on the top that emits some green light. Just as an open mouth. No. Soft light. No. Hard light. Yeah, there you go. Switches between that. Thingamajig completed. Holy crap. Shit, I'm tired. So let me take a look at what I was doing. I have the pngtuber made here. So from tomorrow onwards, this thing should be online. So whatever stream I'm doing tomorrow, I will be using this little avatar just because I want to spice it up from time to time. Until I can get something like this working in 3D, which shouldn't take too much time, but like just rigging it up will probably take a while to figure all that stuff out. And I could continue watching this video, but it'll just take too long. It'll just take another hour. Ugh, I don't want to stream for that long. I've been streaming for 2 hours and a half? What the hell? Jesus Christ. That's not good. Ugh. Pain. 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 Maybe tomorrow will be a... either some 3D, some actual 3D, doing some stuff in there, or I'll be doing a League stream tomorrow, where I get to play this new ADC, who has this very, very great way of working. Gotta pump those numbers up. True. I don't feel like watching this at the moment. Or I could watch it. It's a very interesting video, by the way. It's
cash and able to manufacture hype with high-priced giveaways and expensive advertising. Buying advertising space in Times Square, in particular, is a specific fixation. But running a 10-second ad every 8 minutes on one out of...
It's about how shit NFTs are.
Effective advertising.
Essentially.
All it's really good for is internal propaganda, making insiders feel like the money that they've spent is buying credibility.
You know what? I'll just play the video a bit to finish up this drawing just a tiny bit more, and then I'll be done, I think. Right?
Most game devs would hesitate to post this to Twitter. They posted it to Times Square.
Oof,
this
cringe.
Is pervasive. Even in the most established projects, ones that have been going for years, there's not really an underlying thing. These aren't fandoms in the way that you would experience them around a game or a TV show or a book. The product is pretty insubstantial, if not functionally non-existent. This is where these projects diverge significantly from the artworks that drove the speculative mania in the spring. They're not positioning themselves as art that's worth possessing for the art, as flimsy and illusory as that claim was, but as ongoing projects that you buy into. The purchase of a token is an abstracted version of buying early stock in a company, a venture capital style investment in promises which is a very significant mutation. Okay, so what do these phantom companies claim to exist to do? Pretty much all of them promise direct financial returns in some way, shape, or form. Sometimes this is just a nebulous sense that the whole thing will go to the moon, meaning the value of the tokens will take off and thus early buyers will be able to resell for huge profits, or more direct as the project leaders promise the formation of, effectively, an unofficial hedge fund investing a communal pool into other crypto products. Probably the funniest of all of these was Betting Kongs, which wanted to create an unregistered real money casino in which token holders would be explicitly part owners and also permitted to gamble in the casino that they owned.
Betting Kongs is not your ordinary NFT project.
Oh my
We aim
god.
to create passive income for our NFT owners by co-owning a casino with a profit split. Welcome to the white paper, fellow gamblers. Why are we doing this? To put it short, we love gambling, and we noticed how a lot of the operators out there are owned by large corporations
Let's go.
who have no care for the community or the service they provide. We want to provide a project where everyone
So,
playing
I
can
think
be
this should be about it.
co-owner of the
Look at
place
that.
they're playing at and make money from it all.
Failure was probably the best outcome for everyone here, if we're being honest. Some promise this in the form of a more conventional media project, like a comic book or a cartoon or a movie, or all of the above.
We have planned the creation of a series of comics dedicated to the Pixel Girl. The key image is static, or at least we think so now, but the squeaky girl is still a seductress, so the image of breasts will be presented in various variations that our community will approve. Let's imagine
Really
there are
bad.
5,000 NF tits holders. There is a 30 million
This exists, by the way.
comics lovers in the US. On average, every comics lover spends around $20 USD per comic per week. It means $80 per month and $960 per year.
This is so
the
bad.
total addressable market.
Who buys into this shit?
28 billion, 800 million USD. Let's imagine we take 1% of this market. It's 288 million USD per
This sounds like a crack
year
addict.
on the base of
Right?
monthly subscriptions raised in crypto. This is a cash flow.
Nice to see some active communication and appreciate the effort, as announced this afternoon, trying to resurrect this project into something successful. The only thing I would like to see, assuming the project can be successfully turned around, is to perhaps, in addition to some revenue sharing, have some revenue donated to breast cancer research. To truly enjoy them, we should keep them happy and healthy.
What the
As already
fuck?
implied, many of them promise video
Creepy
games,
misogynistic.
often an MMO, but just
Jesus
as
Christ.
often, like, just the concept of a video game? Okay, wait, let me word that another way. They will promise a video game. Like, that's the promise, in its entirety. No clues for genre, style, scope, engine, or platform, or how any of the tokens would interact with it. Just a video game. If we sell 10,000 tokens for $300 each, we will start brainstorming development ideas for a video game. Now, all of these tend to be in collections of 10,000, and there's actually an interesting sort of quirk inside that. The initial format was to mint an entire collection and just shove them out onto the market. The cap comes into play purely because you have to...
No! Oh, for fuck's sake, I forgot to have the thing separated. God damn it.
As the scheme started to take off and competition rose, this was a sucker's way of doing it because that meant paying gas fees on everything up front. So someone came up with a system for minting a random output on demand, which shuffles the mint cost off onto the buyer. From there, it all took off like wildfire. Very low upfront cost, extremely low risk, plus it turns the entire system into a gacha game with different rarity curves for attributes. At best, these are all obfuscated gambling schemes, at worst, active scams. And the payoff of failure makes it extremely difficult to parse one of those from the other. World of Wojak only sold 20 tokens to 11 people and still pocketed over $5,000. Pro Camel Riders sold 114 tokens to 71 buyers and took home $25,000. Metamon sold 722 of their 9999 tokens to 343 buyers and walked off with $211,000. Since the average buy-in is over $350, the payday for failure makes it irrational to succeed. The interesting aspect of it all, though, is
there we go. Now the map is on a separate layer.
these smoke
Oh
vendors
yeah.
don't have an actual product.
So
more
this is the new
like
model.
a vending machine in the front of a grocery store.
Creepy
so they need a
bat
story
with
to
claw
sell
leg
instead.
things.
And so we get this wave of poorly defined projects pitching a token with an attached JPEG that represents the concept of a thing that could become a future business. What that business does is unimportant, and indeed many of these projects, successful and otherwise, trade in a flattering myth of decentralization where the direction of the business, down to its fundamental product, is shunted into the indeterminate future to be decided later by collective consensus. Are we a comic book, a movie, a hedge fund, a casino, or a bi-monthly curated box of snacks?
Let's go.
Well, that's for the token holders to decide. All that matters is that whatever it is, it will definitely make the value of your tokens go up. So you should definitely buy too.
One thing I learned about NFTs, if you think something's going to be a blue chip, you should definitely buy at least two.
I mean, look at this guy. You're not gonna take any advice from that guy. That guy is like the last person you should take advice from, right?
And if you've got a blue chip today,
Like, look at
it's
him.
going to be incredibly more valuable.
Gotta go to sleep. Thanks for the stream. No problem, dude. No problem. Thanks for hanging around.
On the front of other
I'm gonna be stopping because this bat is done, and I want to go play League of Legends. So, thanks for coming. Thanks for the stream. Check out the videos. They're in the description of the YouTube version of this stream. Let me think. The creature is sort of done. Creature has a look. Creature has a good look to it. So this is gonna be this is its open mouth state. This is the closed mouth state. So for a PNG tuber, that is more than enough. And then I will work on creating a cool 3D model so I can replace the Vroid model, or well, replace the PNG tuber one with an actual 3D model again, and have it be, you know, good. So the Corona bat, lol, and outside of that, the more maybe I should tomorrow's probably gonna be a League stream because it's just to unwind, you know, and then maybe somewhere down the line I should play Metal Gear Revengeance because I actually have the game. I've not played that in 7 years, and it would be interesting, right? Like we saw a good video on it, so what the hell would it be to actually play that game? And then that's extra content, you know, so that's always nice. Anyway, take care, and hear from you guys soon. Holy shit. Damn, streaming for 2 hours and 40 minutes? Ah, pain.